6-year-old child with this blank, pale, emotionless face. Blackest eyes, the devil's eyes.
Such sights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Rock and roll!
6 o'clock already, it was just in the middle of a dream. I was kissing Valentino by a crystal blue Italian stream. But I can't be late, cause then I guess I just won't get paid. These are the days when you wish your bed was already made. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, cause that's my fun day. My I don't have to run day. It's just another manic Monday. I wish it was Sunday, cause that's my fun day. It's just another manic Monday.
Yeah! That's right, baby. Oh, Mondays. They're so much better now. I have Tuesdays off now, too. You know what I'm saying? So Mondays, it's like Friday night, Saturday night, whatever you want it to be. I fucking loving it. Welcome, everybody. It's Monday, Maniacs. Here we are again, the Death Curse Society on the air. Crank, Colonel here with me. We're going to have some fun tonight. What's going on, boys? How was the week?
So far, so good. The week?
The week. That's how we always kind of recap the week right here.
I mean, well, first off, prayers to those in Afghanistan and Haiti right now. Holy shit, you guys going through some shit. But yeah, my week was fine. I didn't have to deal with a
insurrection,
terroristic uprising, or an earthquake or a hurricane. So
right.
I'm good.
I was halfway there. I was in the dark all week long, pretty much. We had a power outage from last week, Wednesday until about Saturday night. So that was fun. It was like living back in the dark ages, and fuck, it really is dark out there, man. I walked around the block. It's fucking scary. I can't imagine what was going on back then before the lights.
See, folks, that's why I told Zag. Apparently, the electrical grids in Michigan are just as good as their internet. Okay, fucking tastic. It will never fail.
It was nuts. It was fun.
But,
yeah.
Well, this week was good for the Colonel. You guys ready for this? It's so fucking stupid. My Cincinnati Bengals ended the 8-game win streak by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't give a fuck that it was preseason. The fact we won a game. Right now, we're undefeated.
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, the Lions.
We might win 5 games this year. Who knows, boys? I'm feeling frisky.
The Lions, in very much Lions fashion, lost on the last play of the game by 1 point. So, that's okay, though. We're in a rebuild over here. We know what the fuck's going on. It's all right.
Preseason, man. Doesn't fucking matter.
Lions have been in a rebuild since like 98, man. What are you talking about?
Lions have been in a rebuild since 1957. Let's be real here, okay? Let's be real.
It's not even really a rebuild. It's just a build. It's still the first build.
I don't know. When the first word that comes up in your organization is inept, when other organizations discuss yours, it is what it is. So we got a one tonight, man. We got a decent gig tonight for you guys. We got a guy coming on. He's not pushing anything. He's not selling anything. He's just coming on. This guy gets around, and you've probably seen him. We're on all these slasher websites on Facebook. We visit. We get a lot of news and stuff. And people talk about things. This is where I saw this. This guy was visiting horror locations all over the place, really. I mean, and he's in California, so a lot of it obviously is out that way. But yeah, I was like, yeah, that's kind of cool. But then it just kept going. And the guy is every week he's got a new location he's visited. That's pretty fucking cool. And I just thought you guys out here would really, I think there's some stories to be told. I'm sure you have some locations you want to hear about or maybe visit yourselves. Hence, that's going to be our list today. The top 5 locations we would like to see from a movie set, stuff like that. So it should be a good time, man. We're going to get him in here. Joseph Scott is his name, and he will be joining us very shortly. But, what else? I got to say real quick, we did get to watch the new fan film, Jason Rising, just got dropped on Friday. I just want to know, I'm sure we're going to do a proper review on this, but boys, what was your initial thoughts? Craig, we'll start with you.
You know what? I didn't hate it like I do most fan films. I was very skeptical when we saw the trailer, and I think I'm on record as being like, this is fucking stupid. Why is Pamela rising from the dead and lifting her head up in the air? But I will admit, the way these guys approached it, it wasn't as bad as I originally thought. And the twist at the end leaves a little bit to be desired. I'm not going to say anything, but...
No, don't, because it's still fresh yet, and I want everyone to go out and see it unruined, if possible, you know what I mean? But, hey, Colonel, what do you think before I'll give my quick thoughts on it? And then,
without being going too much, because I know we're going to go really in-depth here. It's better than most. It looked good, sounded good. The twist at the end did nothing for me. Again, you guys have to wait till our actual review for me to really dig into that, because I got a lot to say about that twist. But my biggest complaint, I'll go ahead and give out my biggest complaint. This is kind of for the Friday franchise in general, anything Friday the 13th. What the fuck is it up with all these fucking deputies and sheriffs and local policemen wearing fucking jeans? Why don't they just wear a full fucking uniform, man? That's the most unprofessional police force in the United States of America. Like, I don't want to care about your fucking Wranglers, man. At least wear some fucking Dockers. Kind of match something.
That's the rural police, man.
Doesn't matter. I live out in the middle of bumfuck nowhere too, and he actually cops actually wear fucking uniforms. Well, they ain't wearing jeans. It's like,
well, if you're a ho dog, po dog, well then they're motherfucker down kind of place, then maybe not. Maybe you wear the jeans to work.
Thank you. That was kind of my point.
Okay. I personally found this to be a quite entertaining, fun fan film for sure. I was entertained throughout. I watched it again today with my buddy. He's like, fuck it. You had an hour. Let's watch it. I'll show you this thing. And he dug it too, and, man, it's just a good time. You know why? And I can say this without ruining anything. A couple of the actors, not the greatest in this, but they don't hang the whole movie on the dialogue of the bad actors and their actions to get the story told. Once the action starts to happen, they're just kind of there dealing with how you would expect them to deal with it. And that's the fun part. They just have fun with this movie, and you get some multiple surprises. There's tributes to other kills and stuff in the movie. It's just a good time. Jason Rising, I can't wait to give it a proper review, but you can find much better ways to spend a fucking hour than watching that one. That one is definitely worth your time.
Yeah, we would encourage you guys to go out and watch it, and that way we can all talk about it later on. And yeah. I got to do the sales pitch.
I was going to say, you do the sales pitch, and then we'll see who's in here tonight. Everybody's showing up.
Hold on. Before you do it, please. I saw a comment that has me laughing from our good buddy up north, Dave.
Oh, boy.
Colonel has the best internet by the look of it. Yes, somehow tonight I won.
Well, aren't you you're broadcasting, aren't you?
Yeah.
So we're all piggybacking on yours. So hopefully it's good.
Hope so.
Is it that bad, guys? Damn. I'm showing a full signal right now, so I don't know.
I'm showing fairly good so far.
Yeah, I just know you froze up once on me, Zag. It's funny. As soon as you came, it's like, oh.
That's fucking great. I love our internet and everyone that has to use it at 8 o'clock every Monday. Cheers.
Every Monday. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching Death Curse Society. We hope you will follow us on all of our social media. That includes the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and, of course, YouTube. Make sure to hit that bell to subscribe. Not that bell. This bell. Don't start, Dave. We're not ready for that yet. And also make sure to visit our website at deathcursesociety.com, where you can catch up on everything that we've been doing lately, including past videos, our calendar. The podcast is on there. And then head on over to the join page, where you can become a member and help support the society. You can choose between Camp Counselor, Crazy Ralph, and Final Girl or Guy. Each one has different perks. Pick the one that financially works best for you, and we appreciate it. Head over to the shop, where we always have new things coming to the store all the time. We got some t-shirts in there, of course. We've got the hats, mugs, everything else. You'll see. It says right there. Yeah, face mask still. If you guys still need face masks, I don't know. Are we wearing those?
Hold on to them if you do.
Yeah. Make sure to check out our podcast info also, and follow us on your favorite provider there. And if you don't subscribe to Death Curse Society,
You'll burn in hell for this. You'll burn in hell.
that's right, you'll burn in hell.
Not what I just did there. No.
No.
All right. We've got Andy. Oh, yeah, of course. Good God. Frank, go ahead.
Finally, we got to thank the current members that we got, all of our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, and Tyrone. And then, of course, our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Peter. And then our camp counselors, S. Michael, Dave, and Kiara, our newest addition, who I think is celebrating a birthday later this week. So happy birthday, Kiara.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday! Ah, yes. All right, let's see who's in here tonight. We got Andy. Woo! And he says, did I do that right?
No.
Yes, that was nice. And there's Tyrone. We've got Dave. Hello, fellow nerds. Hey, Ick is back like a bad case of the clap.
Wondering where that was.
Yep. Tanya's in the house. Hello, fellows. Chris Faze. Luke's here. And it looks like he's on the right account, too.
He hasn't been banned yet. I'm proud of you, Luke.
Kiara's here. Hey, Kiara. James, of course, with the exclamations of exclamations. Durarte. Hell yeah. What's up, DCS? Lorena. Dude.
Oh.
And then Patrick. Kaylee Wood is here. What's up, dude?
Oh yeah, how's your neck? Are you out of that brace yet? That's the guy we met in Oklahoma City with that fell out of the water slide.
Fell out of a fucking water slide, and it's like my worst fear of all time and shit. And there it was. He lived it.
Well, you were telling me, man, before I even heard what happened to him, you were like, man, my biggest fear is falling out of a water slide. And then I go over to him and he's like, yeah, I fell out of a water slide. And I was like, Ziggy, oh my God.
Totally. It's terrifying because like you're going to fucking plinko down the fucking tracks as you fall, depending on how high you are. Horrible. Okay, we got Dave. Boogie Woogie. Woo! What the? It's like a adaptation here. It's like Colonel has the best internet by the look of it. He already played that one. Stacy's checking in from Logan, Ohio. Stop in to say hi. Have a good show.
Stacey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Luke says he went to a preseason Vikings game on Saturday. Preseason, sure, but watched them get demolished. And then I got demolished, too.
That's the best way to handle a loss.
All right, speaking of handling losses, we'll get a fun little stat. Apparently, the Bengals are number one at something, or I should say Cincinnati. Yes, we got something. We're the number one fans in the NFL for drinking beer during the game. Well, of course. What else are you going to fucking do? Sorry. Just funny stat. I was like,
okay, Dave, I'm not going to make your read your comment on Jason Rising because it has spoilers in it, man.
Can't
do that. Okay, let's move on. I think everyone's checking in. They're talking amongst themselves. There he is. S. Michael's in. Heidi ho. Welcome, brother. Welcome. Yep. God damn it, welcome.
And also Carrie joining us again. She joined us last week. Welcome back, Carrie, from the UK. Man, we got two watchers in the UK now.
We love the UK.
International, baby. We've gone global.
Might have to open a store section over there too, like we have for Dave up in Canada.
The UK section. We'll do the British flag, DCS logo, and everything. Why not, right?
Yep. All right, you gonna bring him in?
We might as well bring him in and get on with this, man, because he's here, he's ready, and like I said, not pushing anything, not selling anything, just a real down-to-earth guy from what I've seen so far. He's seen all the fucking locations and has more to come. He's got a couple of good ones on his list, but we'll let him tell you about that. So without further ado, please welcome Death Curse Society from wherever the hell he is, in California somewhere, Mr. Joseph Scott. Hey!
What's going on, Joseph?
Guys.
What's up? Oh, he's wearing the shirt, too, that he wears.
The shirt, yeah. Oh, nice. How you guys doing tonight?
Great, man.
Good.
No, I was hearing about what you guys were talking about, Jason Rising.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
You liked it?
Absolute. I was wiping away tears and clapping like a crazy maniac. You know what it reminded me of? Is watching Mandalorian with Luke Skywalker walking in at the last minute.
See, yeah.
It has that impact that, what I wrote was the writers and directors know exactly how to spoon feed the fans who are starving. And they just did such a wonderful job putting that together. I absolutely loved it.
I can see some people are going to see that as completely cheesy and maybe a little stupid, but man, if you're a fanboy at all, you're going to love the end of this film.
Well, you're talking to somebody that was I grew up in 1981, in the 80s. And my sister and I were too young, but we snuck into the opening weekend of the very first Friday the 13th. There were only 2 seats available up front. And every time someone was, Kevin Bacon gets killed, my little sister is like, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with you? And then Marcy gets the axe in the middle of her head. Ha, 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 ha. And then it just continued. Brenda's body comes flying through the window, and I'm finally like pushing her, going, shut up. What's wrong with you? Well, no, I'm just scared. And she's laughing. And I realized my sister had gone into shock. But that made me a huge Friday the 13th fan right off the bat. I've been a Friday the 13th fan since opening weekend.
Well, now your sister is the most prolific serial killer on the West Coast, and so that had nothing to do with her upbringing, right?
It's great.
Wait, did I hit too close to home? I mean, he didn't deny that for some reason.
She to this day, I already warned her I probably was going to tell her that story. She's embarrassed by it. She goes, no, now she just says they're stupid. And I'm like, yeah, but it scared the living crap out of you when we saw it as kids.
Oh, I fear manifests itself in many ways. Laughter, definitely, I've seen that before, so I can relate to that.
There's laughter and screaming. There's a fine line between the two. Yeah. And either you're screaming or laughing, one of the two, but that's how your senses deal with it. And back in 1981, we never saw anything like that before. That stuff was brand new.
I mean,
it
was straight up like the Friday the 13th, Alien, and like Fulci's Zombie. I all got to see in the theater, all within like a couple of months of each other. So I was already, the twist had begun. Even back then, So I mean,
if you look in 1981, the amount of movies that were released that year is phenomenal. You had American Werewolf in London, you had The Howling, you had Omen 3, you had Halloween 2, Friday 13th Part 2. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. I think Hell Night came out that year.
The Burning, The Beast Within. There's a million of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, The Burning.
Really good year.
Here's a weird thing. I just saw The Burning. As much as I love film, I just saw The Burning for my first time about 3 months ago.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Wow. Outstanding. Why didn't they make a sequel?
It could have easily been at the time when all of our favorite serial killers were rising to fame. Cropsey could have fit right in there, especially writing like Savini's work, his makeup effects in that movie.
Yeah, well, the problem though, when it got lost in the shuffle, there was so much. I mean, Ghost Story came out that year. There was a ton of really good movies that got lost in the shuffle, and I think that's what happened with Burning.
I think that one
Cooler also came out that same year too. I mean, there was tons of movies that came out.
Distribution and just how it is. There were, like you're saying, there were dozens coming out every week. So I'm sure they were probably going through and trying to pick and choose, watching a few minutes of each one.
Right.
And who knows? Who knows what happened or why? But and it was all the VHS thing for me when I rediscovered those ones that maybe I didn't see in the theater. So definitely.
And here's the exciting thing for me is watching movies like Never Hike Alone and Jason Rising. They get it. They get what 80s horror slasher was all about. Mm-hmm. They don't. I don't know. I feel like I'm watching a continuation of what I saw as a kid.
Well, that's it. The vibe and the feeling is totally there. We've had Vincent on a couple times on the show, and just talking to him, you can see just how deep this guy goes and his passion and the fucking battery on this guy's back. That he don't stop. He works.
Yeah.
And watching the making of the Never Hike Alone movies, you get a in-depth feel of how that crew, how much they put in and struggled and sacrificed to get that to look that fucking good. And you're right. They get it. And anything Womp Stomp touches has been pretty damn good so far.
Oh, it's gold. It's gold.
Yeah.
Now, I do have to admit, he played a pretty good lazy-ass deputy in Jason. I don't want to spoil too much, but yeah.
It's great. It's great to see him in the movie. Absolutely loved it.
Definitely.
His mustache was great though too.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted him to start twirling it there right before whatever happens to him. No spoilers,
No spoilers. I'm looking at
surprisingly how many people are blabbing the surprise online.
Oh yeah, they're already doing it.
I'm telling all my friends, please don't read anything until you actually get down and watch the movie. You don't want the surprise taken from you. It's that good.
Thankfully, I didn't get anything. But, of course, after I'm done watching it, I'm texting at the end is coming on. And Colonel, I'm talking to him and Crank on the text. And I was like, holy shit. And I reveal kind of one of the spoilers at the end. And Colonel's like, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, and honestly, totally killed the moment for me. I knew.
Way to go, Ziggy.
What a great movie.
I must have dreamed it. I thought he had watched it already, but whatever, man. It's all right. So, Joseph, how did all this start? I mean, with going to the sites, what made you just go, I'm going there to check this out. I'm going to turn it into a vacation or whatever. I'm going to get some pictures. I'm going, damn it. I'm doing it.
Well, I was raised as in an atmosphere where all we did was watch movies. My brother and I used to make stop motion animation films downstairs in our basement. My brother now is an animator for Tim Burton. He's done movies like Nightmare Before Christmas, James and the Giant Peach, Corpse Bride, Coraline. So he's been working with him for a while. But that's how I grew up. Our parents sent us to art camp instead of football camp. And we did film. That's all we did. My friends and I, it was really like that movie Super 8 or season 1 of Dawson's Creek. That's about as far as I got on that show. But I liked Dawson's Creek because it was about a bunch of kids who all they wanted to do was be filmmakers. And so I loved film right off in the bat. One of my first jobs was I got hired to work in a movie theater and stand in the exit during Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, the midnight show, with a chainsaw, came running out the last 2 seconds of the movie. I cleared the theater in about 2.5 minutes. That's 250 people were in the front lobby screaming, but they're all laughing. You can't get away with that stuff anymore. But yeah, it was a great job.
That's like the equivalent of yelling.
We snuck our friends into the drive-ins. I remember once going to a double feature of Omen 3 and American Werewolf in London, and we crammed 6 of us in the trunk of a car, and we had one guy driving in with, of course, the trunk almost dragging on the ground. And but that's how we grew up. We constantly were making movies, and always I said, one day I'm going to go see this. One day I'm going to go see Michael Myers' house. One day I'm going to go to The Exorcist. One day I'm going to, and someday turned into 10 years. Someday turned into 20 years. And I kept putting it off. And then one day, I can't explain. And then 2014, Universal Studios still had the set of Phantom of the Opera. And they made a decision to tear it down to make room for a Nintendo attraction. And so they totally leveled this amazing piece of film history. It's gone. And so that started working on me. But one day I kept saying Sunday. And one day, I'm not kidding you guys, I woke up and I went, whoa, it's someday. And I grabbed a couple of props. I grabbed the shirt and out I went to the Myers house, Laurie's house, Nancy's house from Nightmare on Elm Street, Carrie's gym, and the Poltergeist house. And I was hooked after the first day.
That was one day?
That was one day. One day. I mean, I quickly grabbed a pail and painted a little bit of blood on the side of it, filled it up with fake blood, and dragged it into the school where they filmed the ending scene of Carrie. And the bell was about to ring, so I'm starting to run through the hallway with a bucket of fake blood, and the fake blood is flying all over the place. And I'm like, I can't stay and clean this up. And as soon as I walked out the door, the bell rang. And there's no way I could sit there and explain, but I can imagine all the kids running out in the hallway, and the hallways are covered in blood at the Cary High School. That's just awesome. But see, that's how it became addictive to me. I had different stories for each place I went to, where each place I went to visit, there's a memory attached to it somehow. I went to the Poltergeist house, and I had a full-size skeleton. So I'm standing in the front yard with the skeleton, and this neighbor lady opens up her curtains and is looking scared out of her mind. We're like, no, we're okay. She goes, no, there's nothing okay about you guys.
Yeah, well, I'm sure you have dozens of stories of being chased away by angry neighbors or hired security to keep you out or away from certain sites.
And one police story.
Let's hear
the police story then.
Well, the police story was I went to the Scream House in Northern California up by Bodega Bay and in Santa Rosa. And there's all these do not trespass signs all over the place. My aunt lives in the area. And every time I drove by there, the gates were locked up. One time, the gate just happened to be open. And so I drove. You had to get through the front gate. There's a guard check. There's a ranch hand check that you had to drive by on this 3/4 of a mile up to get to the house. You get to the top of the house. I started taking pictures, and there's some guy on a tractor, and all of a sudden I see this giant, big old thing, walkie-talkie coming out, and I hear, I'm like, oh crap, oh crap, oh crap. So I get into the car. I do that long drive all the way down. I'm hearing police sirens in the far background. I get out of there, turn. As soon as I'm down the road a little ways, I see 2 police cars pull up into that driveway and go up toward the house. And I'm like, oh, crap. I almost got busted.
Close call.
But so I've learned a big lesson. You listen to do not trespass signs. They don't want you there. You just don't go.
Dave says, welcome, Joseph. Give us a link to your stuff, please, when you get a chance. Yeah, I don't really know. Do you have an official website?
I don't. I'm this whole thing, how I got started, how you found me, is I was out location hunting, and I went up a set of stairs, and my Achilles tendon broke away from my bone in the heel of my foot. So I've been on sick leave since April 21st.
Wow.
And so to find something constructive to do with my time, I just started sharing all of this stuff with everybody on this site. And I wasn't expecting the response that I was getting from people. Everyone's been extremely kind, encouraging. There's one point where I was going to quit after 40 locations, and the administrator from our group was like, "Please don't, please keep going." And we just hit location 80 the other day, and nice. And the nicest thing that I'm seeing happen is it's an open forum where I see people get that spark of, oh, wait a minute, I can do this. Because no matter where you live in the United States, you can Google whatever that area is, and I guarantee you will find something in driving distance that you can go and visit.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no, I don't know. I have a list here. Do you want me to read just a couple of them, or?
Well, I'll tell you this. I pulled that you sent me a bunch of your pictures of different stops. I pulled several of them. I didn't do them all because some of them you had multiple shots of the same thing, but I did pull some. I figured we'll start this video. We can talk over it, and you can tell stories. We'll stop it, and then we'll get it going. And I'm going somewhere with it, and then we're going to get into the Jamie Lee Curtis stuff too, on the tail end of it.
Hey, before you start that, let me hit this question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Because S. Michael says, thanks for chilling with us, Joseph. What is the most obscure movie you've gone out of your way to visit the location for?
Oh, easily The Howling.
Mm-hmm.
The Howling. It was up in Mendocino, California. I had to wait 1.5 years to get permission from the forestry because it's a campground where families are constantly at. I had to wait for it until it was off season. When I got there, I was given instructions how to get to the campsite. Everything was fine until I got on this one. Oh, sorry about that, guys.
That's all right.
Everything.
My same ringtone. I was like, I could have swore I had this on time.
Was that an Amber Alert? What the hell's going on?
Everything. No, it's another person telling me that my car insurance warranty has to be renewed. I hate that.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm driving down this road, and all of a sudden it turns into a dirt road. And all of a sudden I go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into these really thick woods. And then my GPS goes out. I can't reach anybody on my phone. And so I'm just going, okay, I think this is the way I'm supposed to go. A half an hour in driving, I come to a fork in the road going, okay, I think I'll just go this way. And I keep driving, and come to another fork in the road about 20 minutes later. Okay, and the roads are getting narrow and narrow, and literally the road's on these big, huge, steep cliffs. And my car could easily go flying over. And the scary thing about that was if my car did fall over, it would have been about 2 weeks for someone to find me. And nobody knew where I was, which I kind of laugh at the title, Never Hike Alone, because it's so true. But then I get over to the campground, and I find Eddie and Marcia's cabin from the movie. And the forestry, because you get permission and you do the right things, they left the cabins unlocked for me. They kept the electricity on for me. They were absolutely really, really cool. They knew I had been trying for a long time. So I get into the cabin, I start taking my pictures, and I start hearing the growling outside. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And I looked out, and the bushes were shaking, and I saw a mountain lion.
Oh, shit.
And my car's 100 yards away from where I was at. And normally that's an okay story, but then you realize where you are. You're in Marcia and Eddie's cabin, and it starts playing. And I had to wait there for 45 minutes until he was gone, and I booked back to the car and got out of there. But that's that was actually cool. You guys, that was a cool place.
I'm so glad you brought it up. That one is actually part of the reel I put together. So we'll get a look at that cabin in a little bit.
Yeah, it's that. But to answer that question, it was the hardest place I got to, but it was like one of the biggest rewards I ever got as far as film location hunting I did. It looks exactly the same. Nothing's changed.
That's what I was noticing. A lot of these things, it's really easy. I was just like, oh, totally, there it is, and some of them you actually put the real locations right next to where you're visiting, and it's. Oh yeah,
and then the other thing is, I have a huge CD collection of soundtracks because I was watching your guys' show on what you guys said about movie soundtracks.
Yeah,
I always have the soundtrack playing before I enter a location, so it kind of puts me in the mood. None of you guys brought up Reanimator, Carrie.
Oh.
Outstanding. I mean, you can't carry it. It carried the movie, the entire gin sequence, and Reanimator. It had me on the first note of the title sequence. It's great.
I'm still searching for that vinyl, the Reanimator vinyl. I cannot locate one at a decent price anyway. I will though. I will find one.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Absolutely correct.
Yeah, and that list was very, very hard. If we was to do it again, I almost guarantee.
It'll be different.
It'll be different. It's just like
Colonel, I saw you guys struggling over the list. I could see that you guys wanted to change this and this and this. And I would have been, there's no way I can pick 5. I understand. There's no way I can pick 5 of those.
That's how we
do.
Yeah.
Yeah, when we do that one again, we may have to bump it up to 10 because that one was
so many.
That was one of the hardest ones for me to do, at least.
That was a good show, guys. It was really good.
Thank you.
And then here you go. Patricia says, "So, what is your favorite soundtrack, Joseph?" That's another hard one. There it is.
It's hard because I definitely Halloween's a classic.
Right.
I really like Carrie. Carrie is really Carrie Creep Show. There you go. Mm-hmm. That's the other one missing. Creep Show, I think, it's a lot of fun to listen to. It has lightning. It has laughing. It has it's a really good soundtrack.
It's another one that sold out before I could grab it. Waxworks put on a nice.
No. Waxworks is reprinting it.
Yes.
What?
Right.
I need to jump on that too. I was like, ooh, and then I failed out until just now.
Nice.
Another one to check off the list.
Yeah, exactly. Once you start that reel up so we can look at some of these locations.
Okay.
I see. Here's one real quick I want to do because I believe this is the Sean Richards who put out the Friday the 13th Part 3 documentary, and then they did a little. It's just it's great if you haven't seen it, but he's got scenes and pictures from the actual locations before that big fire in 2006.
Yeah. Nice.
You want to check that link out. And although I hear they're rebuilding it, somebody bought it up.
They are.
Good. Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Somebody bought it.
They're rebuilding the house and they're rebuilding the dock that Jason originally walked out with wearing the Jason mask for the first time. That's such an iconic piece of film history.
We must visit that, then. That will happen.
Oh, we will. We will.
Okay. Let's get this thing up here and we can still discuss it.
Okay.
Let me pause here for a second. All right. So, Joseph, I'm going to roll, and you can just tell us a little bit about each one as we roll. And if I see some questions popping up while we're running these, I will pause, and we will hear what the audience has to say too. So, what is this we're looking at?
That's Cambria for arachnophobia.
Yes.
Yep. I got so many people who wanted me to get their pictures taken with me when I was out there dressed like this.
And that's the other thing. I was chuckling, like you always have a little prop or something with you.
Right.
That's important. Anyone can go in front of these houses and just take a picture, and I don't understand why a lot more people aren't doing it. You need a prop. You need something that's going to make that picture pop a little more. So I always bring a prop.
That's a good one. I like this one. Arachnophobia too is just it's
hilarious.
No, what is it? Is it a horror
You kind of see
movie?
my little boot that I've got on from when I with my I don't care if I got something wrong with my heel and my foot. I'm still going out and taking pictures.
Yeah. I mean, I had to stretch some of these too, just some of the pictures, but I mean, we should be able to see everything pretty good. Let's get on to the next one here.
Yeah, I see the walking
Yep.
boot
Well,
you
you
got
can
on.
see it's bigger.
Yep.
Okay, here we go. There we go.
Okay, that was me revisiting the Scream house. They sold the house and they opened it up for I got invited by the neighbor. She said, you know what, nobody's up there, why don't you go up there and take a picture? I ran to Spirit Halloween, got the ghost face costume, went up there, started taking pictures, and someone was delivering some furniture or anything. They didn't even pay, they probably seen it a million times. So they didn't even think anything of it. Yeah. That was, but the sad thing is I've heard from other sources just recently, they have permanently locked up the house from all visitors. They're not allowing people there anymore.
It does seem funny that people that do buy these famous properties, or at first they're like, "Come on in, sure, oh yeah," but then 6, 8, 10 months of that, a year of that, fuck off. We're putting a fence up around the place. Stay away. Keep out. You're not welcome here anymore. I mean, I get it.
And they've got good reason. Some of these people, like Amityville Horror, they go up to the house with a shovel and they take a chunk of dirt out of the ground because they want to take home a piece of possessed dirt.
No, that's crossing the line.
Or
Yeah,
they'll
that's very close to the line.
some siding off the building, or they'll tear apart the fence. And I totally get why the entire village of Amityville hates people who are there. They hate them.
Well, that should be our first stop then.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, right.
I can't believe you're showing this picture. This is perfect with what we're just talking about.
Murder house, isn't it?
This is the murder house from American Horror Story. I took the picture and I got home, and as soon as I got home, there was a newspaper article how the guy is suing the city because they didn't warn him ahead of time that it was used as a film house.
Isn't that something in California that has to be made apparent?
Yes, and you can see the giant fence he's put up around the house, and I saw the guy, and he is just huffing and puffing. I was like, I don't understand. I'm on the sidewalk. I'm not even by the house. Because the law is we can get our picture taken if it's on the sidewalk, but you want to be respectful and everything. I just don't understand why the guy was so upset. But literally, I got home and there was a newspaper article about the guy upset and suing the city.
Well, you should sue the realtor that sold it to him.
Exactly.
Not the city.
That's who's going to get it. In the end.
Yeah, that's it.
Wow. Yeah.
The city doesn't have anything to do with that.
Here's the interesting point. They just reused that for American Horror Story this season. So I don't know. Maybe the guy saw the dollar sign. I don't know.
That money always talks. Money talks.
Yeah, the one place I will never, ever, ever, ever go back to again.
Okay, Dave says, "Hey Joseph, do you just do pics or do you do videos as well?"
I just do the pics. Originally, it was just going to be for myself. I didn't. I never planned on. I thought this was just going to be something between me and I grab a friend of mine. I tried to grab different people each time so that they can experience what it's like to go to a classic film location.
Mm-hmm.
On this particular trip, I went by myself, and yeah, that place. There's something wrong with the house, guys. I don't want to get all spooky. There's something wrong with the house.
I believe it.
Huh?
With this house here we're looking at?
That's the Amityville Horror House.
Yeah, that's Amityville House. Yeah.
I was there for a period of about 3 minutes, and I got, like it says, I got out.
This is where it said
That's
Park
where
Hill on the picture.
That's where the DeFeo family was actually killed.
Wow.
And I spent, I didn't have this plan, but afterward I spent an hour and 17 minutes walking around the graveyard trying to find the DeFeo family grave so I could put flowers on their grave. Because at the end of the day, whether you believe it, it's a ghost story or not, 6 people were horribly murdered in this house. And I just, no, it's one of the places I don't like going to True Life Crime anymore. And it's because of this house. You know, someone invited me to go to where Charles Manson hung out in the desert. I'm like, I want to go there. So,
you know, I mean, I get it. It just seems a little dirtier. It's a little more, you know, too real and stuff like that. You know, I understand. I understand.
but there, you know, on top of that, it's just, I don't know. Yeah, no, I won't be going. There it is. That's the birdhouse.
Nice.
Birds. And 10 minutes after taking this picture, a real bird crapped all over me.
That's right.
Perfect.
This place is amazing. I actually have been inside the house before the new owners took over. They used to.
That was what I was getting ready to ask you. Were there many that you've been able to actually go into?
Oh, yeah.
Now you mentioned this one you've been in. So
I've been in with the old owners. They used to do tours of the inside. But yeah, some I do and some I don't. It depends on what if the owners are open to that, or if it's a special event or something like that.
Okay.
So,
All right. Let's get to the next one. Here it comes.
oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I love this entire city, guys. This experience, that was so cool. I actually went to a movie that night. It was The Creature That Walks Among Us, and it was done by the guys who do Mystery Science Theater 3000. So I actually my hotel room, they were across the hall from me, so I got to talk to them afterwards, and they were super cool people. But I also went to the doctor's house, and this is a cool story. Next door to the doctor's house, every Saturday morning, these 6 little old ladies get out on the front porch and sip their tea and talk. And I talked to them, and they said, yeah, we're the last of the Steve McQueen fan club. Super cool. I mean, it's just, they started telling me all these different stories of what it was like when the filmmakers came in and started making the movie, and just
wow,
the nicest ladies. They were absolutely beautiful, beautiful ladies.
And this guy here, he's like, "Hey, what do you want from me?"
the guy drinking his beer in the patio. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Let's clarify, folks. This is from the Blob from the 50s, wasn't it? 57.
50s. It looks like, yeah.
They've done an amazing. This is the centerpiece of this town.
I always love that scene where everyone goes running out of that theater too when the Blob attacks the theater. That is the best, man.
Well, you guys know they have Blobfest, right?
Yeah.
What town is
Oh.
this? Where is this located?
I think that's Phoenixville. Let me double check here. Yeah, Phoenixville, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
They have something called every July called Blobfest, where they reenact the people running out of the theater screaming. They have,
you know what? I have heard of that.
yeah, they have like a tinfoil hat. You know, thinking about the movie Signs, where they made the tinfoil hats to protect them from the aliens. So they judge which one has the best tinfoil hat. They have the best Steve McQueen look-alike and sound-alike contest. It's a huge thing for this town. I want to definitely go check it out one year.
Did you ever go visit the remake Blob sites or have any plans to?
As of yet, no, I haven't, but eventually I will.
It's on the list, folks. It's on the list. The Blob, folks. There it goes. Okay.
It's cool. Yeah, it's Buffy's school.
Okay, yeah.
And, you know, my sister went crazy because she goes, no, that's Beverly Hills 90, whatever that number was. But yeah, no, this was Buffy the Vampire Slayer's school. And
The series, correct?
the series. I was a huge fan of the show. The show actually premiered on my birthday.
Wow.
Nice.
So yeah, this was a lot of fun.
That one was hit or miss for me. I dig the movie. I got into the show a little bit, but then, you know, life changed. I think I started working a different shift, and I fell off. I never got back on.
Well, I had this massive crush on Sarah Michelle Gellar watching the movie. I thought she was great. She was great in this. I mean, the whole cast was great, but she really stuck out. I loved the writing. I thought it was smart. I thought it was funny. And I'm not sure if you got the picture of me next to her house, but the house's address is 1313.
Oh, nice.
Not
So
sure.
I thought that was kind of cool.
We'll see. I don't actually remember what I stuck in here. All right. There's the bucket of blood from the Carey School.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. That's an interesting picture. Yeah. I quickly took that picture as the bell was ringing, and I did the Forrest Run. I got out of there so quick because I didn't want to get busted.
That was one of the ones I had to stretch.
There's no way I could explain what I just did, and I didn't mean to do it intentionally. But I felt so guilty and so bad, but I don't think they would have wanted to listen to me. I mean, I don't know.
What are you doing here? What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is there blood all up and down our school?
How about you come back when school's not in session and it's like a work day for the teachers or something? Then we might let you in.
Yeah.
But
And then when
we've
you're
got
done,
we got 1,000 students in here.
Well, here's the thing. I was surprised they let me in. I was surprised that nobody said, "Hey, wait a minute, there's a guy with a bucket of blood running around." There's nobody. And I was in there for maybe about 15 minutes. I actually got into the gym, took some nice pictures, and yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I don't know if you could do that now.
No, absolutely not. This wasn't
not necessarily horror, but hey, man.
Iconic.
Honestly, this is my all-time favorite movie ever. The Rock I'm on, I don't know if you remember, there were 3 people who went originally running up to the mountain. There was Richard Dreyfuss, Melinda Medillin, and their friend Larry. And on this rock is where Larry got hit with the gas, and it's like, So yeah, it was kind of cool. I was walking around going, wait a minute, this is Larry's death rock or gas rock. It's kind of cool.
This is Devil's Mountain from Close Encounters
Devil's
of the Third
Tower.
Kind or Devil's Tower, yeah.
I went there for the 40th anniversary and missed Steven Spielberg by 2 days.
Oh man.
Oh, that sucks.
But you know what? I saw the movie. They showed the movie right there. I camped there 2 nights, and to see the movie with that in the background, absolutely amazing.
Now let me. Was there a Devil's Tower mashed potatoes building contest or anything like that to go along?
No. They should have.
I think so. I think that's a winner. Oh,
Yeah,
man.
that was a great. I went out there with my brother.
That's like the only one I think I did without any. It doesn't really have a horror connection to it. I mean, unless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is more famous for Star Trek. It's Vasquez Rocks.
Yes.
But it's the last remaining place that you can visit where Dracula in 1931 was filmed. There's a scene where, in the very beginning, where Renfield's coach is going down the path. The bottom half is Vasquez Rocks. The top half is a matte painting.
Huh.
And yeah, everyone else at Vasquez Rocks were running around in their Star Trek uniforms, and I'm the only one in a black cape and fangs.
They're like, what's he doing here? I love how you did it in black and white, though, just to do it like in 31.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And the Star Trek fans are probably looking at you like, who's this nerd?
Yeah, what is this? Yeah, exactly.
Aren't they supposed
They're
to
walking around with their Star Trek suits and their little Gorn heads, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, aren't they supposed to show up and be in character though, and like break their tricorder out, like kind of get a scan on you? That's what they're
it's
supposed
the
to do.
whole thing. They hold the whole thing out there. It's crazy. You got the couple of hikers up there, but a lot of Star Trek people out there.
I still love that old William Shatner and Saturday Night Live bit that he did a long time ago, where he goes to his first convention and he's like, "What is wrong with you people? You're a bunch of nerds.
Give a life." Yeah.
Joseph makes me want to go on a movie location sightseeing vacation.
That's the idea.
See,
That's the idea.
that's exact. Then boom, I've done my job tonight. That's exactly. It's the main thing I was hoping to do was if I can inspire anybody to get out and do this. It's so much fun. And again, bring props because it makes it more memorable.
That's what I mean, bro. I was sitting there, and I didn't even know which one it is. It's slashers or 80s slashers or something like that is where I come across your post. And, the first couple of them, I'm like, yeah, all right, that's cool, that's nice. You see one or two, sure, everybody's done that, but then you just kept coming and kept coming and kept coming with more, and I just went, God, and I finally went and looked at your page and went, this guy's been everywhere, man. I go, this would be perfect for the show. Let me get this guy out here. And that's the point, man. I agree with you. If anybody, what a great idea. I've been to the Christmas Story house. You know what I mean? I've never been to a horror movie location that's cool like this.
I took my nieces to the Christmas Story house, and I bought the bunny costumes for all 3 of us. We're the only ones dressed in costume, and there's a picture. I'm going to send it to you. There's a picture where the 3 of us in our bunny costumes in the hallway, and their expressions, they hated every minute of being in the costume. But because Uncle Joe gave him the costumes. They wore them for about 2 hours. 2 hours. It was, but yeah, I loved it. Yeah.
That is okay.
Nice.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah.
The house, amazing.
The steps, the iconic steps.
Yeah.
If you don't know these steps, I'm going to have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a nice little plaque on the bottom of the steps that commemorates the steps to The Exorcist. Literally at the top of it is the house. And usually there's a huge fence and where you can't see the house. And when I went up there, the fence was wide open. So I quickly took a shot of me standing in front of the house. But yeah, I mean, and there's another picture. I don't know if I send it to you. It's me on the bottom of the steps lying down.
Yeah, wait. Hang on. Hold your thought.
Oh, okay.
There we go. See, now this is what I'm talking about because we do video. You know, you're doing photos and we normally do video. So if we did these kind of things, I'm afraid I'd be the one that'd be tumbling down the stairs with Zigzag and Colonel with the cameras like, all right, you're going to have to do that again. It wasn't that convincing. And I have to climb all the way back up the top and fall all the way down again.
Well, no, this shot was cool until all of a sudden someone told me, it's like, do you realize how many homeless urinate on that every night? I was like, okay.
It's still worth it. Come on. Andy says everybody knows these steps.
Yeah.
I know those steps.
Once that guy said that, I would have just whipped it out and taken a piss right there afterwards anyway, right in front of him.
I would have looked him in his eyes and said, you're going to die up there.
Yeah.
So far, this is the only location because I was lucky enough to see out of all these because I had family living in D.C. and that D.C. is a very dirty, nasty city. But I have seen these steps.
How did you? Interesting. How did you feel when you actually went there?
I was a little terrified because, long story short, we covered this a few weeks ago. The Exorcist is about the only movie that ever made me shit my pants in fear. I was about 8. I want to say 97. So I was probably about 12. When I seen the steps, and I was still kind of like, yeah, that's cool.
Yep.
My stepdad knew. He's like, you want to see the steps? I'm like, yeah, no.
Colonel.
I didn't get nearly as close as you did. The edge of the sidewalk. It was cool. Looked up and.
I would have done
Colonel. Was it the movie The Exorcist, or was it?
Damn enchiladas!
A little bit of both. Well, I didn't eat enchiladas that young. I was still quite a picky eater.
All right.
The movie.
I'm just asking, man. That's what I need to ask these questions. I need to know.
You can barely hear that though. Damn it!
I know it was the enchilada. Yes.
Oh yes,
It was beautiful.
Now, this one, and before I'd actually gone through and put your stuff together, this will appear on my list. I will say, go ahead, Joseph.
Absolutely beautiful. Walking down, it's 167 steps down. If it's too foggy, they don't allow people down there. As I was going down there, I saw a family of whales jumping in the water. Absolutely beautiful. A lot smaller. There's no way they could have a radio station in there. But look how cool. It looks just like it popped out of the movie right there.
I'm telling you, you look like you superimposed yourself into Stevie Ray's shot where she's walking down listening to the call signs that she got on tape. Folks, if you don't know, this is Antonio Bay on Spivey Point.
Yeah.
The Fog, John Carpenter.
Yeah. It's a beautiful day out there too. It just, and then you got to think, looking at all these steps, all the camera gear and everything that they had to load up and down this thing. You're totally out of breath by the time you got down. They even have a resting point. You can't really see it. Maybe you can. There's a little resting bench halfway for people who need to take a break.
Probably
back up, son of a bitch.
This is probably,
no doubt.
Probably my favorite ghost story of all time, I think.
Yeah.
Nice. And absolutely my worst hated remake attempt ever is this.
Yep. It was terrible. Terrible.
I was mad. I mean, I sent a bill to those motherfuckers. I mean, and then a letter to Carpenter going like, "What's the matter with you?" You know, signing off on that piece of shit. Ooh, I didn't want to get into it. Let's move along.
Okay, it's not where we're at. It's on that little island is where they filmed the place where Frankenstein chucks the little girl in the water. And this is the last remaining site that you can visit from Frankenstein. And 6 weeks after I finished taking this picture, this place was ravished with a huge fire.
Oh
Man.
It's restoring now, but we went through a huge fire that year. And
folks, this is why you get out and do this kind of stuff, because you never know when it won't be there again.
And this little girl, this little random girl. No, I'm kidding. But no, the only way I could get her to be in the picture is I had to take the mask off and let her wear it for a little bit. I was terrified of it.
Yeah, let's see. Here, Colonel Dave's got a comment for you. Monster Squad made you shit your pants too.
Nope. Nope. May have shit my pants while watching the Monster Squad because of the Monster Squad.
By the way, Joseph, have you ever got down to the Monster Squad stuff, or have you planned
it's all in studio. I am trying to get into the studio. It's the same studio. I really want to get a picture of me in the front yard of the Bewitched house.
Mm.
Oh yeah,
it's literally down the street from the Monster Squad main city town hall area.
Right.
So someday I'll get there.
There we go. A nice familiar. Yeah. Boy, that looks almost the fucking same, man.
It's Glenn's house from Nightmare on Elm Street. The only place I got chased away from.
Well, let's hear that one then.
No, I was taking my pictures on the sidewalk, and this is not. This was at a different time. A guy in the window saw me and just started running after me, going, "Get over your yard! Get over your yard!" I'm like, "Holy crap."
Sidewalk's public, brother.
I'm not annoying them, or I was just there for maybe 2 seconds, and this guy came running out screaming at the top of his lungs. That guy has since sold the house, and the new neighbors I hear are cool. I mean, the new owners are cool.
Yes, I understand again, but still, if you're not up on his porch, you're not like doing snow angels in his lawn or anything. So
no.
I mean, man.
No. And the pump, yeah. Oh, that's Blairstown.
Yeah.
That's where Annie, we first see Annie.
Mm.
I love Blair. Have you guys been there? Have you guys been to Blairstown?
No,
I have not yet.
I wish. No.
Guys, this was my number 2 place I visited. This place was, it's my number 1. The Howling is the weirdest place I've been to. They had, but this entire place is so amazing. Blairstown, New Jersey.
Now,
I mean,
did you go to the museum there also?
I've been to the museum. There's a guy who lives there who is the local Jason. He constantly is walking around in a Jason costume. Mm-hmm. The diner's there.
Right.
People are just wondering, and they love everything about Friday the 13th.
I was gonna say I've heard they embrace it there.
I've
heard most of them do.
What?
I have heard most of them do, but the either the owner or the manager of the museum, some woman that's up there currently is kind of difficult.
I know who you're talking about, but she was really pleasant with me.
Okay.
That's all right. I mean, yeah, but it has to be cathartic just walking around there because it looks pretty much the same as it did.
Yeah, it is.
40-something years.
It was very weird walking around there. And I keep, but here's the thing: why I do what I do. The entire time, all I could hear is my sister laughing.
Yep.
I'm not kidding. And it just brings all these places bring back my memories as a kid. And yeah.
Oh, wow.
There's one for we've got a couple of guys in the group that are big Ghostbusters
hell yeah.
fans, right? So I figured I'd include this one for them.
That's I went from Amityville. I grabbed a train, dressed as a Ghostbuster with Slimer under my arm. I didn't care. I'm never going to see those people again. So I took the hour train ride into the town, then took another subway over to where the station is, dressed as a Ghostbuster. And as I was taking my pictures, I got approached by 5 models from Brazil who wanted me to get their picture taken with me dressed as a Ghostbuster in front. And then the next thing I know, the models' moms wanted to be in the picture with me. So I'm taking a picture of me, the models, and the model's mom. And the next thing I know, there's like 200 people or 300 people surrounding us taking pictures of me, the models, and the moms.
It's Dan Aykroyd.
It's Dan Aykroyd.
It was awesome.
This isn't quite the same, but I used to go down to Dealey Plaza all the time in Dallas, where JFK was assassinated, and I took some friends down there one year, and this was just the middle of a Sunday afternoon or whatever. I think we were coming back from a concert in Austin or something, and I was showing them all the places and giving a little tour. And at one point I turned around and there's like 3 or 4 other people that are with us. And then 5 more minutes later I turned back around, there's like 6 other people on top of that. And at the end of it, there were like 20, 25 people just following us around, listening to the story that I was telling. And at the end of it, people were just like, "Hey, that was great. How much do we owe you?" And I was like, $10, $20. Yeah. What do you got? What do you got? So I got us a tank of gas out of that deal on the way back. So it was great.
That was cool.
Next, there it is, folks.
Yeah. Amazing, you guys. I absolutely love this place.
Wow. I mean, again, this looks like it does in the fucking movie, man.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And I was out there by myself trying to,
What do you got, like a tripod set up? And
I have a tripod set up with the timer and everything, And I was out there. Well, I was out there 15 minutes taking pictures, 45 minutes hiding from the mountain lion or whatever that thing was, and that's a great place. And look, it hasn't changed at all. You're absolutely.
No, it hasn't. I'm like, damn, it's awesome.
Yeah. But it's work to get there. I mean, you have to get an okay by the California Forestry to get there, so you're not bothering other families who rent out this site. But once you get the permission, they were so accommodating to me.
Is there any documentation that's like, hey, in 1980 they shot a movie here, a horror movie here? Nothing.
No.
Mm-mm.
I guess you don't want that when you're heading out into the woods,
Yeah.
Weekend,
And it's a long drive. It's almost an hour's drive to get out there, and you don't know if you're taking the right way or not.
Yeah. Howling House this way. None of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, there's the Poltergeist house. Yeah.
There's the Poltergeist house with the skeleton.
Yeah.
There it is again, man. I mean,
that looks this. It has a lot of trees growing up around it. Other than that, it looks the same. I know they've gutted the inside since the movie was made to modernize it and update it, but the outside looks exactly the same.
And no pool in the backyard, correct?
No, I don't think so.
All right, here we go. Oh, I had to put some new ones in there too, of course.
I love this. This was I was coming from the Lizzie Borden house and on my way to Amityville, and I quickly snuck this one in. It's from A Quiet Place, and there are certain areas where the sand was still there from the movie.
Oh wow,
which was super cool.
Yeah, those weren't bad movies. I mean, for something modern coming out, monster type movies, these are pretty damn good. The second one, I dug it, and I liked the way the deaf girl stepped up into the hero role in that. That was a good story.
Well, a lot of people are comparing it to Aliens. My circle of friends, they compare it to Aliens, and for me, honestly, this is so far the best movie that's come out this year. Part 2. Where the first one was a little more scarier. The second one was more action-packed. And so there's the similarity between Alien and Aliens. The same thing with, But yeah, I love this bridge.
This one will definitely be. We rank every year. We'll do the whole year's worth of movies. I know this one will appear on. I would. It's safe to say it could make all of our lists.
The Resort is so going to beat this out easily.
Yeah. Which one? It's a little blown up.
The Resort. And I'm joking. I don't know if you've seen it yet. The Resort.
The Resort.
Yes. It is now free to watch on Hulu. If you want to waste 90 minutes of your time, by all means, go ahead and watch it. It has some killer drone shots, but that's about it.
No, The Resort, I've got one thing to say.
Yeah, and again with these pictures, you want to bring the props. You know, that's a blown up shuttle. Yeah. Oh yeah, that's the main house from Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Look at that.
They moved it from one area of Texas, and they moved it to Kingsland. They gave me the chainsaw to run around with, and they dressed me up as Leatherface, and I got to scare the crap out of people who were having their lunch.
Nice.
It was great.
Now it's a diner now, isn't it? Or a bed and breakfast, maybe?
A diner barbecue type place, which is hilarious. In fact, I actually had breakfast in the room where Pam falls in, into all the bones.
Oh,
I realized where I was at, and I couldn't eat. Seriously, I was like, wait a minute, this is where Pam, like, no, I can't eat here.
oh. It's not like they were real bones in there. Well, fuck, maybe they were.
No, I would have taken it with me and eat it on the road, but I couldn't eat it in that room. It really triggered me, because that's a movie that Colonel is a lot like what you were describing, The Exorcist. It's hard for me to watch because of the torture that Sally goes through, and the close-ups on her eyeball and her screaming, and it just freaks me out. I still love it. I mean, but yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Toby Hooper had a way, man, to capture terror, and he did in spades with Texas Chainsaw for sure.
Oh yeah. And the other
I don't think I could eat there though, because I don't know what Texas's guide for like health department standards and restaurants is, right now. So yeah, I don't know.
They do have Grandpa's bones up in the top attic room.
Oh,
I would give me a fucking burger. I would love to eat there. You kidding me? I'm in.
It was the whole everyone that works there is absolutely amazing. And there's the bridge from part 2. Yeah, the college guys get it.
The big beheading.
They're restoring it right now.
Oh, that's and we just got to sit and watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 with Bill Moseley, and then do a Q&A with him a couple weeks back, and that's it. That's absolutely it, man. I mean, that's.
Have you ever noticed when you're watching the movie, you're like, damn, that's one long bridge.
Yeah.
What that thing is. I mean, it's just
not that long.
It goes on and on and on and on. So
a 5-mile bridge, and it's like, nope, just 500 feet.
Yep.
All right, back it up, and we got to shoot that again.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Winchester Mystery House.
Oh yes,
this one's for Crank.
Really, love of my life.
I love this house. I so want to go. This is just one of those stops I want to make. It's on my list.
Yeah, definitely you want to. You know, they just discovered a new room a couple of months ago.
No fucking way. Really?
Yeah.
That's terrifying. What the fuck? What do you mean they just discovered a new room?
They just
exactly. This place has 1 million people a year visit it, and they're like, "Oh, by the way,
look the room. There, it was 171, and now it's 172 rooms.
That's crazy.
It's so big.
Jesus Christ! No, I mean, I first kind of got tuned onto this with Rose Red, the TV series or miniseries that Stephen King wrote that was based on this.
Right.
And I liked that show so much when I first watched it. I dove in and started doing research on this place. And I mean, I have mapped out multiple times. Yeah, fuck it. I'm going to San Jose. Let's do this. And I just either never had the extra money to do it or the time to do it. So
I'll be at Rose Red. I'll be at Rose Red in 6 weeks.
Nice.
I can't
All
wait.
right.
Oh, I know what this is.
This is a good one here, folks.
Oh yeah, there you go.
As you can see, Joseph, I'm leading into something here.
Yes. Yeah, there.
Man, this is iconic to me. This is one I could see a douchebag kind of property owner going, I am tired of assholes sticking their face out from this hedge. It's out of here. I'm putting a fence in, and there it is.
I had just got done injuring my leg, and I said, I don't care. I'm going to the hedge. I was in so much pain, and as we drove up, there is a guy dressed as Michael Myers, and his girlfriend's taking all the pictures. And then, I get my picture taken as I'm going away. Someone else comes dressed up as Dude,
It's gotta be like the subway turnstile. There's gotta be people going through that like 12 hours a day.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this was April 21st when I took the picture. In the middle, there's nothing going on there, but 3 sets of Michael Myers right in a row taking pictures.
I just love that. I mean, that's such a, because that's the first movie that really got me. I mean, I've been watching horror since I was a little kid, like the Saturday afternoon stuff like that. But seeing this in a theater and this scene in particular, where like that, look at that pale fucking mask. That is the creepiest shit I've ever seen. And again, I'm only 8 years old at the time when this is happening, so it sticks with you a little bit. But this is what a great shot, man.
Thanks.
And we've got a few from Halloween here. So we're going somewhere with this.
Oh boy.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
JLC herself.
I actually gave Jamie a copy of this picture. She had when I met her. I gave her a copy of this. This is right outside Lori's house, and the owners are so cool. This is one where you go up to their front porch and they go, "Yes, this is Laurie Strode's house. Yes, this movie was used in the Halloween. Yes, please take a pumpkin, go sit out, take a picture, but please return the pumpkin for somebody else." How nice is that?
That's cool.
Perfect.
They get it. Cool. They get it. They're fans
The
too.
entire town of Pasadena celebrates Halloween, you guys.
Right.
They love the movie.
Yeah, and as they should.
Mm-hmm.
They should. This is a good shot too, though, man. That is cool. I mean, you can even see the cracks are like, they passed a little bit. But it's still there. It's still there.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. Here we go. Yes.
This was right after the Halloween 40th anniversary convention I went to. But yeah, cool. I love the Myers house. I've been to the Myers house at least 10 times.
Yeah, we've got another one here, I think, with you just without Michael attacking you.
Again, props and the shirt. The shirt was a total fluke. I grabbed the shirt on my first trip out because it was a pumpkin, and I knew I was going to the Myers house, and it just kind of stuck. And so now I've worn the shirt, and people ask me if I ever change my shirt. And I said, no, I have 12 of the same shirts. I don't know. I just have one.
I noticed it, and I've seen that shirt around too. I was like, hey, all right. And then I think that's what kind of got me noticing. I go, hey, it's that guy that does the locations again, because I kept seeing the shirt. And here we are. All right. Now, you had a little bit of, notoriety back when Jamie Lee Curtis decided to do a horror con in California. And it led to this whole big thing, man. And I've got the video here. Okay. We're going to show it. And then we'll see here. We'll see what's going on and your thoughts on it. And I just want to ask you, like, some of the things you were saying when you were close together, when the moderator's blathering on, you can't hear anything. And we got a couple more questions, and we'll throw it to the audience too here on this. So everybody, here's Joseph interacting with Miss Jamie Lee Curtis at Comic-Con.
My name's Joseph, and I want to ask a question from Jamie Lee Curtis. Sure, dude. First of all, I'm just really grateful for the movie Halloween because 34 years ago it saved my life. I was in a situation where someone had cut the phone wires and a guy was running around with a knife. I was scared out of my mind, and out of nowhere this thought inside of me went, well, what would Jamie Lee Curtis do? Our dog Duchess bit up these knitting needles, and so I grabbed them out of the trash, and I saw the guy with the knife on one side of the house. I ran down to the neighbors, started screaming like you did in the movie, and the guys, I said, well, what's in your hand? I said, they're just knitting needles, and they said, not with those knitting needles, we're not going to let you in our house. But to make a long story short, I'm here today because of the way that you portrayed Laurie Strode. I'm a victor today instead of a victim. Wow. Just like those people that you were talking about. Wow. And I never thought I'd get it. You're the only reason I came to Comic-Con this year.
Come on, sir. Come on, sir. Come around. Come around. She's coming.
I remember seeing this when it first happened.
Me too.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Oh.
Wow. Yeah. Dave says no crying,
That's
folks.
amazing. Told y'all we were having church up in here today. We've been saved, redeemed.
That's Yvette Nicole Brown, right? That's moderating.
I love you. How sweet that is. Oh.
Oh.
I think they got a couple. He wants a picture.
Yeah. Doing selfies. Listen. Sometimes selfies heal too. So just know that. That was beautiful. We can line up the next questioner because I know we got a couple. We can get a couple more in, but I'm so happy we were all here to see that beautiful moment.
There you have it. I mean, wow. I mean, dude, you know,
It's still hard for me to watch that.
you know,
It's so healing. She didn't have to do what she did.
No.
She is absolutely amazing. And so much has happened since that picture. So much has happened since that meeting. And, you know, a lot of people don't know it. For the next 2.5 hours, I was surrounded by people, primarily men, who started talking about them going through home invasions, rape. I couldn't move for 2.5 hours. And I would go to grocery stores and people, you're that guy. And or whatever, and they would just start telling me their stories about how they have been through trauma and how they have came through trauma. And then I started thinking it died down, and then all of a sudden I get a call from somebody saying, "Hey, you're on The View." Then I get a call from Rolling Stone magazine, and then another magazine that's out in England, and I think that I was out visiting Stephen King's house, and I had to pick up my rental car, and this guy kept looking at me and looking at me, and when it came time for me to go out and get the car, he goes, "Can I walk out there with you?" As we walked out, he told me how he had been raped, and the police told him to man up. And I'm actually still in contact with him. He's doing really, really well. But you know, I went to the Halloween convention and I talked to about 34 men who had been in a trauma situation. And I honestly believe that movies like Halloween is so important because, especially the new Halloween, is saying that trauma can't define you, that you're not, you know, this is why it upsets me when they kill major characters. It's saying eventually the trauma is going to kill you. No, you can survive trauma. You can get through trauma. Yeah, I've talked to probably about 400 people since that meeting.
Let's talk about it a little bit. What year was this, and who was this fucking asshole walking around with a knife terrorizing you? Is it just you alone? Do you have other family members in the house with you? Or?
I grew up. Where are you from? Are you from Michigan?
I'm in Michigan. Yeah.
Okay, I grew up in Flint, Michigan.
I'm 45 minutes south of Flint.
Okay, I grew up in this little town called Grand Blanc, and our school had this thing called the HAV system that stopped working, and students and teachers started dropping. And I was one of them. I had to retake my senior year. So my aunts didn't want me to be in the area where I was going to get depressed. So she flew me out to her house in Northern California for 6 weeks. She and my uncle had to go on a retreat, a conference, and left me in the house alone for 3 days up in the hills of in Marin County, in Mill Valley. And this house was isolated. And all of a sudden, it's about 11:30 at night, and I'm hearing somebody walk around on the deck The house is this huge A-frame house. One whole side is nothing but glass. It's made out of redwood, has a huge deck around it, spiral staircases to go upstairs. The closest neighbor is really far away. And I start hearing these noises. So what I do is my big idea was to make a fake phone call to the police. So I make this fake phone call to the police, talking 10 times louder than I normally should. And then I hang up, and then I'm still hearing the noises. So I said, okay, I need to call the police for real. But by then, he had already cut the phone wires. And I remember coming down the spiral staircase, and there he is on the other side of the glass. I had already turned on all the lights and focused all the lights on the outside of the house. And there's this guy dressed in black with a hunting knife, tapping it against the window. And I freaked. Everyone says, well, if that happened, I would just kick his ass. And
Oh, right.
You know?
Yeah. Well,
No,
Yeah.
and my brain went blank. I couldn't think of anything. And then all of a sudden, the thought that saved my life is, what would Jamie Lee Curtis do?
Yeah.
wow.
And it's so funny because we had knives, we had other things I could have grabbed, but our dog had just got done biting up these knitting needles. I knew they were in the garbage, and so I grabbed the knitting needles, and he punched the window once, trying to break through. The window was over here. The front door was over here. I ran out the front door, ran down 12 set of steps. There was a landing. Then ran down another 12 set of steps. Then ran down this long ass driveway, turned left to run up to the neighbor's house, which is about, I don't know, it was far. It was really far. Anyways, he went down the landing, but instead of going down the long driveway, he went up and over the hill. So as I'm running over to the house, he jumps right in front of me. And I let out this huge scream, guys, the worst sound I've ever heard in my entire life. I blacked out. The next thing I know is I'm pounding on the doors of the neighbor's house. I don't know what happened in those couple of seconds between when he jumped in front of me. My brain has blacked it out.
Wow.
And
Horrifying.
they called the police, and the rest, I wound up staying with a family friend until my aunt and uncle got back. And they never caught the guy. But at the end of the day, I had to sit there and go, I survived from because of a horror movie.
Yeah. I guess if you take anything from it, you went out the door across the street to the Mackenzie's house, man. You did just what you were supposed to do.
Yeah. And we get so much flack because we love horror films. And it's like, no, I'm not ashamed of this. For about a year, I went back into therapy after all the Jamie Lee Curtis thing happened, because of taking on everyone's pain and hurt and sadness. I had to deal with it correctly. But by the end of that, she said, I've always hated horror films until I met somebody like you. She said, you're not looking at the Michaels and the Freddys and the Jasons. You're looking at the Lauries, the Nancys, the Kyles, the Tommy, the Alices. You're looking at people who, I always have.
As this is what Miss Curtis was saying to you?
No, no. She and I, when we were talking, she first said, she goes, no, honey, you made those decisions. I didn't do that. And I was like, no. It's the writing of John Carpenter and Deborah Hill and your portrayal that saved my life.
Wow.
I mean,
let me ask you this. Actually, I got a couple questions for you. But you're still friends with Jamie Lee?
No,
now, aren't you?
I know. I just met her once.
Just met her the once. Okay, I thought Ziggy had mentioned.
Here's the most important thing. I got a chance to tell her thank you.
Mm-hmm.
There's people that make such a difference in your life that never have that opportunity, that never know that they've affected you in a certain way. And I got my chance to thank you, and hopefully she's repeated that message to John Carpenter. It's a shame I can't say it to Deborah Hill.
Yeah.
The other question I had for you was, because of what you went through, it sounds like you were 17, maybe 18 when that originally happened?
Yeah.
18? Since that happened to you, have any other movies kind of triggered any kind of memory response or anything?
No, it's interesting. Because you brought up the house. I actually went and visited the house last November for the first time in 30 years. And I walked around and I took some pictures. I think I sent you some of those. I don't know if you got those.
You did.
And it was so empowering because I realized I was still alive. That man who tried to hurt me lost because I'm still here. I am the victor, not the victim. I am the survivor. I am the final person. I did make it. So I was able to finally close the chapter just this last year on that whole situation.
Yeah, man.
That's amazing. I didn't realize all of this when Ziggy had said, "Hey, I booked this guy." So,
well,
fuck you, Ziggy, for not giving me that lowdown on this.
We were digging on it, and then, like I said, I saw the James, and I was like, Jesus Christ, this is that same guy that was at the Comic-Con thing. I had no idea you were the same guy doing the location things until I watched the whole thing again. I went, well, that's what I asked you. I go, how comfortable are you talking about this? Because I think everybody would love to hear your accounts of this and what happened again.
Well, Ziggy, and that's what I was sharing with you the other night on the phone was I purposely started watching you guys for the last 6 weeks. And so, every Monday night I've been tuning in and watching you guys and seeing how you react so that I would be comfortable when it came time to talking to you guys. And I realized as you guys, the three of you are talking, the three of you are just like me. You guys, you're people I don't have to explain why I love horror films.
No.
I felt very comfortable from the first show of watching you guys.
Cool.
So,
well, and also, we like to joke around. We like to make fun of some things. We mostly make fun of ourselves more than anything.
Yeah.
But the fact that, you're talking to people, probably still, and the fact that you sat there for 2.5 hours after you told your story to Jamie Lee at Comic-Con and were, listening to other people's stories shows something about your character that I greatly appreciate, because I think it's something we need more of in the fucked up society that we're kind of going through right now.
It's almost as if, and this is what I discovered, men aren't allowed to talk about trauma.
Sure.
Men first, for themselves, they don't want to think of themselves as being weak. And the weak people are the ones who act as if trauma's not it's not an issue in their life, that they don't deal with it. And that's, it's okay to talk about trauma. It's okay to talk how you survive trauma. It's okay to let other people know that they're not the only ones.
Right.
It's really,
and it's okay. It's okay to listen too.
Right. Yeah.
That's the thing. Don't be one of those, like you mentioned, the cop that told that one guy, well, man up or whatever. No, fuck you. No, call a doctor. Call another cop to go and search the area of what happened. Don't just say man up.
Yeah, I exactly. It's interesting you just brought that up, because that's all I did was I listened to these people and did a lot of hugging and crying with these people. I was walking back to my condo, and halfway across the street, this truck stops. I'm like, holy crap. And he puts his fist out and he fist bumps me. He goes, you just stole my story. I don't know what that meant, but it's interesting. When you open up about trauma, it makes it easier for other people to open up about trauma. And that's what I discovered. So
it's crazy.
Man, kudos to you. Kudos to you.
The cool thing that came out of this, I grew up watching, Fangoria, Starlog, reading all these magazines, and Scary Monster magazine, and they approached me and asked me if I would write a story. And so in this issue, there's let's see.
Tells the story.
Let's see here. Whoa, where'd it go? How Halloween saved my life. And it just, it's just, to be in a magazine that you would read as a kid is actually, I'll be honest, is kind of cool.
Hell yeah.
Cool.
When you do get your website built, you need to put that on there.
Yeah, for sure.
And then get back to the Jamie Lee Curtis thing real quick.
Sure.
There's a point where I'm hugging and crying because I'm with a person that understands trauma and I don't have to explain it. And I'm finally able to say thank you to her. And then all of a sudden when you hear me say, can I have a picture? Well, what's going on in my head is here I am being crying in the arms of Jamie Lee Curtis. He's hugging and kissing me. And all of a sudden I'm like, holy fuck, I'm with Jamie Lee Curtis. The fan came flying in. I'm like, I have a picture. And she whispered, she goes, I think they got a couple. And I was
she wants a picture. Yeah, she lets everyone know. I mean, here, let me share a couple of things that people have been saying since we ran that video.
Yeah, please do. Please do.
And then, Colonel, if you got something to say too, we'll get to you too, man, because we've been kind of just rolling fast on this thing tonight. Dave, no crying. Patricia, amazing. Kiara, let me give you a hug, Joseph. You know, everyone's getting it in this room. The society's down.
Yeah.
Not me tearing up to this. Thank you for sharing this, says Patricia. Andy, is that about the coolest thing or what? Absolutely it is, man. Wholesome moment. Faye says, I had a friend talk about how Halloween goes into trauma really well. Very interesting for sure. Sarah also says, horror literally shows you how to survive with things. It's amazing. That's true. And then Dave, I'm so glad you're okay, Joseph. Sounds absolutely terrible. Keep that chin up, bro. Survivors survive. And go on to bigger and better things by helping people, or at least an ear to listen. Props to you, my friend.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And Carrie just jumped in.
Carrie, yep. Great company, guys. Thank you. Loving the talk. Yeah, man. This is what it's all about. You know, we are, like you said, we're like you. And, you know, this is absolutely fitting for what we're trying to do here and for our people. Colonel, you got anything for Joseph?
No, again, I know we're going to say this before we wrap up, but again, really thank you for joining the show and sharing your story with us. And I mean, it's pretty deep, man. I appreciate it. I really don't. That's just wow.
Colonel, did you know this beforehand?
A little bit.
You son of a bitch, Ziggy! You just leave me out in the dark?
No, man. I figured you were following somewhat of the shit I'm talking to. I was talking on the, well, maybe I was on my personal account. I don't remember.
I'm not on the same page you are.
If I'm talking under the Death Curse moniker, then everybody sees it. So I might have been on my own account. I apologize, Crank, for not keeping you in the loop.
Son of a bitch. Now, the last thing I want to just mention before we kind of move on and actually do something fun and
yeah.
You know,
bring it back up a little bit.
Yeah, bring it back up a little bit. But the loss of empathy anymore, like generically, you know, we're almost worldwide, but especially within the U.S. I mean, empathy seems to be tucked away so much now. It's hidden. And that's what's really bothering me. And it just seems to have really gone downhill the last several years. And I'm not pointing fingers or anything, and I don't want to get into that conversation. But, you know, like today I saw 2 posts about, you know, bring masculinity back, it was basically an anti-gay slur or anti-femininity slur. And I was just thinking, you know, why is this even a thing? You know, it's okay to be empathetic to other people's plight, regardless what it is. Surviving a home invasion, you know, trying to come out to your family, trying to do, you know, trying to get a new job because your boss is abusive, you know, whatever it might be. You know, it's okay to listen to other people and get along with their, you know, try to help them through their trauma, for lack of a better word. Yeah. And I'm just really irritated that the state of the world, I guess it is anymore. I mean, do you see that where you're at? Or it seems like you probably surround yourself with a lot of, you know, like-minded and very empathetic people, which I do as well. But then you open social media and it's a whole different world.
I agree with what you're saying. But I flip it around and I tell myself, okay, if I want to see change is going to start with me. And so I will show empathy. I will listen. I will let people know that they're not alone. If I want to see the world change, it's going to start with me first. You know, it's too big of a thing. It is discouraging. I'll get discouraged if I look at what the world's putting out there, or I'll get encouraged if I look at what I'm trying to put out there.
There you go. Yeah, there you go. There's a lesson for you, everybody out there. Pay attention. That's a good one.
Knowing is half the battle, right?
Right.
All right. Man, that's it's just such a comic moment because Jamie Lee Curtis does not do conventions like that ever, and the fact that
they're told, especially at Comic-Con, they're not allowed to jump off the stage.
Oh no,
She broke rules to do what she did. She had security around her to make sure she was going to be okay as we did our meeting.
I bet there was some big beefy guy standing behind that curtain, just taking a looking sideways.
You know what? Though, going back to what Ray Crank was saying was that there was a guy as I was hugging Jamie Lee Curtis going, "Are you believing this shit?" Right away, that empathy, that question, that someone who doesn't have what you're. That's where you're like, "Are you kidding me?"
What did that guy want? You want just more stories about, hey, how big was the knife? Is that what that guy wants?
That's the same guy. That's the same fucking guy though. That's gonna say, "Oh, I would have just fucking squared up and knocked him the fuck out, man. Fuck that."
Yeah.
No.
When it happens for real, let me know how you really react.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you.
When you're face the fire, that's when you see what's going to happen. You don't know. You think everything. Man, that shit happens so fast. Here we go. Patricia's got something. For those of you who don't know, I am a stage 4 breast cancer survivor. Not only the survivors in horror movies, but the horror movie community helped me out a lot. At the end of this month, it will be 5 years that I was diagnosed. She's now cancer-free, yes, but and limited her mobility a bit. She plans on walking normal again, and she works at it every single day. Patricia, don't ever stop, and thank you for joining us as always, man. You know we love you here in the society.
Yep. This one's for you.
We just don't hand out the golf claps, man. You got to earn that shit. That's right. Kiara, oh my God, I really hate people that try to make men feel guilty for having emotions, trauma by demonizing it, calling it gay. It is so hurtful to men and the LGBT plus folks. Absolutely right.
Now, 20-something, 30, well, 30-something years ago now, almost 40, when I was in school, gay was a common insult, when I was in middle school or even early high school. But I got over that pretty quick. The N word and the F word were also pretty common in my school too. But
it was the F word here, man, all the way. Everybody, you're such an,
But now it's just kind of like, I cringe and like.
Well, and it's still because if a man shows emotion, they automatically think, "Oh, that guy must be gay. That guy must, there's something wrong with him." There's something. I mean, there's such a stigma, and you gotta not listen to that, because it's the same thing. Like when I go dressed up into various film locations, I'm never going to see those people again.
Right.
I'm never going to have to. And so, whether I show my emotions or not, I'm never going to really see these people again who have these negative responses.
Right.
Is this your famous brother here from the Tim Burton movies, Michael Scott?
No, that's my other brother. Proud of you too,
bro.
This is my brother Daryl, and this is my other brother Daryl.
Right.
Nice.
Dave says, "Props to you, Patricia. You rule." And Kiara's got congratulations for you.
Yeah,
absolutely. Let's see a couple more here. See this wholesome side of the horror community. I wish I could see it every day. Love y'all. Yeah, thanks, Kiara. We love you too.
Well, don't worry, because next week we're doing a big dick measuring contest right here on Monday Maniacs. Just get ready.
That's right. You're going to be hearing a lot of this.
No. Just kidding.
Carrie 8 sending lots of love from the UK, Joseph.
Nice.
Okay, now we do a thing here. We only got about 15 minutes left or so, but what the hell?
No, we don't. We're dragging this on.
We're dragging it on.
Well, maybe not much. Maybe not much.
5 a.m. comes pretty early, man.
Colonel's got to go.
Maybe not too long.
There's one more important. Before we go into the next part, there is one more important thing about going and visiting these places to keep in mind. There are so many of these places that are disappearing. If you wait and wait and wait, they're going to be gone. You try to go see the Evil Dead cabin, it's gone. You tried to go see Cujo's farm, that's gone. The farmhouse from Night of the Living Dead, that's demolished. Carrie White's house is a parking lot now. You have places that, like Friday the 13th Part 3, vandals went in there, thought the chimney was real, set a fire in there, and burned the entire place, burned history down.
And then they were laughing about it on the fucking internet. That's what pissed me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Is they were like, oh, whoops, look what we did.
Exactly. You know, I'm glad they're rebuilding it, but it's a shame that the original still isn't standing. You know, don't keep waiting. Don't keep waiting to see these places because they're not like film that's going to be around forever. These places eventually will be gone. You know, most of these places are gone.
Yeah, no doubt.
Let's see, Kara says, Carrie White's house is gone? I'm going to cry now.
That was my first day out. I saw that Carrie's White house was gone, and that motivated me more to get busy and see these places. I was so mad. I stood in the parking lot going, this is bullshit. I was pissed.
And Dave says, Colonel, don't worry. We put our clocks back tonight. That must be the Canadians thing there, you know.
Canadians are doing that on Monday?
My French overlords have not, so.
All right. I think I'm the first one to do a top 5, so.
Okay.
That's the way I had it on the list anyway. Because since you're hosting, you're the last one.
That's right.
So. All right. So my top 5 obviously is going to start with the Bates Motel. Nice. Yes, it's on the Universal Studios lot, but it's still there. I would love to go by and definitely check that out. I know they're not. I don't think they allow inside tours, but just to be there because my old house used to be called the Bates Motel all the time. I would do it.
Now that Bates Motel, the house itself is like it's miniature, isn't it, or not a full size?
It was smaller to make Norman Bates look a lot bigger. And also, they let people go up and take pictures on Halloween Horror Nights. Norman Bates.
Nice. Well, I guess I got to go out there in October then. Number 4 for me is Camp no-be-bo-sco. I got to get up there at some point. I mean, that's just a given.
Didn't one of us win the lottery to get a camping thing? Didn't you win that, Colonel, a couple of years ago?
Colonel did.
Yeah, I did. I was in the lottery. I won. Couldn't go.
You couldn't go? Oh, no.
No. Life happened, and it just was not.
They stopped the overnight campovers. They used to, because of COVID, they stopped the overnight campovers, and I slept there. It's kind of cool. I slept next to the window where Brenda's body got thrown through. How many people can say that?
Yeah, nice.
You know, there's a bunch of us that broke out and went swimming in the morning in Camp Crystal Lake. And then, look, guys, I got to show you this.
Go ahead.
Okay, this little bottle.
Wait, here. Make him. Let me make it full screen. Hold on, I got it.
Let me see. You got it?
This little bottle is actual water from Camp Crystal.
Oh, nice.
Some of the beach on the bottom. Oh, nice. You see some
there we go.
on the bottom?
Wow.
The best souvenir.
Angry Mother Bottling Company? That's funny.
Yeah.
Now that is that's a collectible there, man.
That's cool. It's my cool.
I have read though that they're going to do some limited camping things over there again in the fall. So
I hope so. I hope so because I'll be honest with you guys. If I hear that they do camping again, I'm back out there. I know they were charging $1,000 to go and spend the night there. The prices have come way down.
Yeah.
And there's one more thing. I had Linda Blair sign my pea soup can.
Nice.
Nice.
That's probably my next favorite thing I have.
That's awesome.
I like that one.
All right.
That's
guys,
funny.
I'm sorry. I'm going to step away for a few minutes. Keep going.
Okay.
Dad dudes are calling. I'm getting text. I got to take care of a situation.
Family comes first, brother. We'll be here when you get back.
I know. I'm sorry. I will be right back as soon as I can.
Woo! All right.
There goes the Colonel, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep. He'll be back, though. Number 3 for me, we already talked about it, the Winchester House in San Jose. This place is just such an icon of American just history, not just horror, just history, that I have to get to it at some point. And did I see James, I think, mentioned, are you in San Jose, James? If so, when I do, I'll hit you up and let you know. I don't know when it's going to happen, but it's going to happen at some point. Number 2 for me.
Yes.
A couple of spots. Yeah, obviously, I've been planning this trip for a while. It actually includes number 2 and number 1. But you guys know I love The Shining. Stanley Hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. The inspiration for the book. I would love to cruise up there and then keep driving northwest a little bit and then go to the Timberline Lodge in Oregon, where they filmed the Stanley Kubrick's The Shining, of course. I'd have to stay at least one night in both of those hotels.
Yes.
And that would be a good trip in and of itself. But as Carrie Yates mentioned earlier, up north, just a little bit further, my number 1 would have to be the Snoqualmie Falls and Salish Lodge in Snoqualmie, Washington, where they filmed a majority of Twin Peaks. And I could get to the Double R Diner. That's the trip I've been wanting to take for a long time. And I wanted to always do it when they do the Twin Peaks Festival in July. But when Corona and COVID hit earlier, actually, I think they ended it in 2019. They ended the festival because the Twin Peaks license holders wanted to start their own festival. So,
yes, Carrie Yates says, please go to whatever that is.
Snoqualmie.
Snoqualmie.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the setting of the Great Northern Lodge, and I believe like the Double R Diner is in that same town or in a town real close to it. A couple other iconic locations are right there in that area. The bridge. It's just, that's a location I could spend at least a weekend in and be very happy with.
Wow. Twin Peaks on top of Crank's list. Is that about the most shocking thing said tonight?
It was.
No, it's not.
As a matter of fact, it wasn't. No, not at all.
Crank is the Twin Peaks fanatic around here, and yeah, not surprising at all. But very cool.
I'm not the only one that's at least in the comments.
You had to go to the UK though to get someone to want to deal with Twin Peaks. What the fuck?
There's 2 of them in the UK that like Twin Peaks.
It's all right.
It's bringing them back week after week just to watch us. So why are you bitching?
I'm not. If it's Twin Peaks, so be it.
Should we? Should we go ahead and do Joseph's list?
Yeah, we'll do Joseph's list now because of the time.
All right. Now, is this a list of places you haven't been that you want to go to?
Yes, they're on my. Except I got to let you know, in about 7 weeks, I am spending the night at the Timberline Lodge.
Oh, nice. in 7 weeks. When is that? In October?
Yeah.
I don't know if I have anything going on in October. I may meet you up there. Who knows?
Well, yeah.
Oh, Dave. All right. This is kind of a throwback to last week's show, so I'm going to put this up real quick.
God damn.
Speaking of Twin Peaks, how is Deborah Voorhees?
She wasn't in Twin. Oh, I see what you did there.
Hang on. Let me properly cap that. All right.
Good God.
Dave.
All right.
You're in timeout the rest of the night.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. So, Joseph, why don't you start with your number 5?
Okay.
Since it's already on screen.
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Ah.
It's the last of the Universal classics that I haven't been to that I really want to see.
Nice.
This is where they filmed all of the major lagoon sequences. Definitely already got the creature mask and everything. All the props that are going to go with it when I go out there. I was supposed to go out there last May, but then everything that happened with my foot, I've had to rearrange things. But yeah, this place definitely, that's a definite for me. Number 4 would probably be The Conjuring. Is that right? Yeah, The Conjuring house in North Carolina. This movie scared the crap out of me. It's just the best one that's from the Conjuring universe, I think. This movie literally scared the crap out of me that this family went through what they went through. I know Hollywood beefed it up, but something happened to this family. The family, but this house is just super creepy. And I know that they do special showings of The Conjuring in the backyard against the wall of the house. So there's certain events. Number 3 would be The Mines.
Whoops, there it is.
Yeah, it's called Ed Mines in Pittsburgh, where they filmed My Bloody Valentine Part 3.
Yeah, I couldn't find the actual location picture in time today. So
this was the remake, right?
It was the remake. I mean, if I wanted, which I do want to go up, you have to go to Canada to go to the original. But this one is, since I'm here in the United States, I can go into this one. And actually, I like part of this movie.
I like it, and I really thought it being shot in 3D, they did their best work with the kills and stuff in 3D. They utilized it the greatest, but man, couldn't help but think this is shitting all over the Canadian classic that I love from '81, and in the end, it can't hold a candle to the original, in my opinion. But I mean, it's good for what it is, and they retold it well enough. But man, I don't know. I just love that old classic, man. It just Harry Warden looked a little more intimidating in that old one, more so in the new one.
Yeah, it's a 3D that sold me on this. The 3D was amazing at what they did in the movie.
Yeah,
but the you can't touch the original.
Yeah,
the original was just great.
Especially since at least the uncut, now it's uncut, uncensored, and now they've actually cleaned it all up and it's all perfect, like it was meant to be seen.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful. Well, at least those first two, the Florida and North Carolina, you could maybe do in one trip.
Yeah,
true.
So
yeah,
that's a good one.
Welcome back, Colonel.
Thank you. When the 4-year-old wants to talk to you because she's sad, you gotta answer that phone call and talk.
Oh, and that would have been bad, especially when we're talking about empathy and you didn't go. So would have been bad. I mean, number 2 is Never Hike Alone. Definitely.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's coming. It's coming. There we go.
There it is.
I live, and here's ironic. I live 35 minutes from this place.
Wow.
It is so well hidden because the camp is so old that all the signs, all records are gone. You can't. I've talked to the forestry; they don't know where it is. I talked to Vincent about it.
Yeah.
And he originally was going to meet with me and take me personally to the camp at one point. And this was right before Never Hike in the Snow was to open. And he had to let me know that he had to cancel our trip because everything was so busy. And I don't mind. I love what he's putting out there. He doesn't need to be focusing on me.
This guy is a future star of horror directing. We've been saying it all along, and we're still saying it. Anything this guy touches, it's going to be fucking good, man. Until he proves us wrong.
And he was really encouraging about, you have to go around to the back door, you have to do this, and he tried to tell me how to get there. But because there's no markers, and because nobody remembers this place, nobody knows really where it's at. Now, I've gone up there 3 times looking for it, and I still haven't. So,
wow.
Mr. Dasani, if you're hearing this or watching this, remember me? No, I'm kidding. You don't want to be going, I can't find it.
Yeah, reach out to him again at some point. Give him a couple months because he's got about 1,000 Blu-rays that he needs to ship in the next month or so. But once he gets those out, he said he's going to take a little bit of time off, and he may have some time either then or right before he gets busy again. So
Are you talking about the Blu-rays for Never Hiking the Snow?
yes.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, hit him up again because he seems like one of those guys that, hell yeah, man, I'll meet you up there. I got to go and,
Well, he
shoot some footage for something anyway. So,
not only is he a good director, though, he has compassion for the horror fan. He goes out of his way to let them know that he is not so much above them that he's a really interesting, really nice guy.
He won't charge for an autograph still. I mean,
Yeah.
and he's justified to at this point, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Hell of a guy, and a huge asset to the horror community.
Yep.
To have him cranking out the kind of content he does, and it's not just Jason. He's got all kinds of his fucking hands are in all these pies, and everything we've seen is kick ass. We're fucking stoked for the Dylan's new nightmare he's involved with. All gonna be good, man. And I'm stunned that every time he comes out, we expect to have him maybe an hour or so, and it's always 2 hours, 2.5 hours, because there's just so much conversation back and forth between the fans, our audience, and us. And
I'll tell you, that last show that you guys had was great. It was so good. I actually watched it twice.
Yeah, the Ghost Cut, when we watched the Ghost Cut with him.
I've watched it twice just to hear. He's just a very interesting person to listen to. He really is.
Yeah, I could talk to that guy all night, man.
yeah, no doubt. One of these days, we're gonna meet him at a con somewhere. Then we're gonna go get drinks afterwards, and we're gonna be sloshed at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, trying to get back into the con.
Nice.
It's gonna happen. All right, what's your number one?
Number one, Wales, out in Wales. I want to go to the American Werewolf in London, follow the exact hiking trail that Jack and David walked in American Werewolf in London. I know the path. It takes straight into this little village. And then also in another village, there's the place where they shot all of the interiors for the Slaughtered Lamb. So I want to go into the Slaughtered Lamb, have a beer, and yep. That would, and what's cool about the site that I'm involved with, I've met people who are from Ireland who it's like, if you ever come out here, I'll do that walk with you.
Yeah,
for sure.
Super cool.
I had this on my list, and I saw you had it as your thing, and I went, "Fuck it, I'll do something else," because the way you put it was way more elegantly than I was going to say it, and I just left it alone. But I would so do that, man, because I love this movie. This is one I went and saw 3 weekends in a row.
Really?
Yes, when it was in theaters back in the day.
Nice.
It is the finest werewolf movie. I don't care what anybody else says.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't argue that. Thinking about it, I'm like, yeah, kind of right.
Kind of right?
Kind of right. Yeah,
All right.
Can't argue it.
All
I'm
right,
pretty fond
so
of the original
now-
Wolfman, but
Now I think it is Colonel's turn.
Yes.
yay! Do I even put my list? I'm just going to read what's on the screen. I'm just going to read what's on the screen.
Dave says, "Shit, I've been to Wales multiple times, and I don't know this. Fuck."
All right, so honestly, I could probably add like 30 more locations. I literally just went off the top of my head, first initial 5. And a few of these, like this is more than obtainable. Evans City Cemetery, Evans City, Pennsylvania, Night of the Living Dead. Dude, Pittsburgh's like a 4-hour drive for me. Like, why have I not done this yet? That's it. Like 4 or 5 hours max.
I mean, you're not far from Camp Crystal either.
Nope.
No.
It's only a 5.5 hour drive from. Oh no! Wait a minute. Nope. Never mind. No, that's on the other side of the state. It's a 5.5 hour drive from the Blob movie theater.
Nice. Well,
We were
that one too, because like it's literally Cincinnati. I go through the state of Ohio and Pennsylvania. Boom, I'm there.
we were like just a hair away from attending the Monroeville Mall thing. They had a big con there for the first time. Usually, it's just a zombie walk through the mall. They had their first con there, and they had a Day of the Dead and a Return of the Living Dead reunion. And but it was like July 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, and man, it just the timing was bad, and we were trying to get the Oklahoma thing booked, and I had to make a choice, and we went with Oklahoma this time. But next year, I think we're going to be there, and we can take this shit in.
Next year we may have to do both.
Yes.
Keep that in mind.
We'll try. But yeah, it's of course my favorite horror director was George Romero. So of course, Cemetery from Night of the Living Dead has to be on the list. Coming in at number 4. Trying to remember what it is. There we go.
Oh,
The Thompson House.
Yep.
Nightmare on Elm Street. Fucking iconic. I do not like the Nightmare series, like hardly at all. I like the kills. That's about it. Well, it's the Thompson House, man. It's like if I'm ever out that way, like I'm not going to stop and see the Thompson House. Like it's just you got to. It's almost like a badge if you're a horror fan, and especially talking to Joseph, it's like you got to start off somewhere. Ooh, might as well be the Thompson House eventually. I need to get out to the West Coast. That's why I've been saying this for years. And
if you did this, you could also hit Halloween, all those places out there. The Poltergeist House.
I know.
All those places.
If you guys ever come out here, you guys, look me up. I'll give you guys a tour of these places.
I think we could if we do that. If we came, we could bang 4 or 5 in a row or something and do a whole like.
4 or 5 in a row. That's the first day.
Yeah. We're definitely
here, guys. There's so much out here. The Drag Me to Hell House is amazing. There's so much to see out in Southern California. I'm really fortunate. You want to stay away from Halloween too, because you can get literally shot or arrested if you go on the property, because it's a VA hospital that's close to non-military people. And I snuck on there and that was stupid. That was stupid.
Mental note: stay away from the hospital.
That sucks because that's one I totally want to see.
No. But here's a stupid thing. I'm thinking mental note: sneak onto the hospital for Halloween.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm the complete opposite.
Well, see, the people who here's the evil side of my head going. The people who drive their cars up are the ones that get caught. It's the people who park their cars, walk onto the property like I did, and not say, "Well, hey, here I am." And I think, that's the way they're doing that side. I didn't say that though.
I don't want any buckshot in my ass.
Yeah, I can't run fast, so I would not even think
I've actually been hit with buckshot before. It's not as bad as it sounds.
No.
Colonel,
I'll take your word for it.
3.
Number 3, and it'll be higher on my list if I didn't have the chance to go once already, like we already talked about, so I won't go into more detail. Camp no-be-bo-sco. Damn it. That still pisses me off. I told guys, I'm like, I won the lottery. I got a chance to get a ticket. No.
That was like early on, right when we just got started, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my idea for one of our first videos. It's like, man, I can go and do the tour, record that. And anyway, that's
nope.
We'll move on.
All right. Number 2.
Oh, yeah. Monroeville Mall, Pennsylvania, of course. Now, you'd think this would be my number 1, considering Dawn of the Dead is my number 1 horror movie. But it is a mall. So after 20 minutes, I'm probably going to hit everything up I want to see. All right, I'll give it stretch it to 45, and I'm pretty much done. Again, driving distance. Why the fuck have I not done this yet? Because remember, Zach, before we found out about that con there, me and you were already talking like, dude, let's just meet up and drive to Pittsburgh and see all this shit. Like, why not?
Go to the cemetery, go to the mall. Right. Yeah. And absolutely. I'm like, yeah, let's get the schematics down on this. Let's fucking do it.
And you guys know that they just opened up the zombie museum in the mall with the convention. And the cool thing about the zombie museum is they've got the fragments of the Evil Dead 2 house up there, so that that's the closest anyone's going to get to visit one of the victims from Evil Dead.
We actually ran into the folks that have the fragments of the Evil Dead 2 cabin at a Horror Hound a few years ago. They had it kind of set up in the corner and everything, like the pieces and everything, it was like pretty much like one door and a couple of awnings, that's about it. But still, we got pictures in front of it, and they give you a chainsaw to put on your hand and shit. It was a good time. So, that's history, man. You must see.
Yeah.
When we get up that way, though, we got to visit with Patricia.
Oh yeah,
she's up in that area. She's right there, and then it also looks like Kiara says
not far. Yep,
she's not too far from there. I need to visit this someday. So,
and 3 minutes down the road from the Monroeville Mall is Billy's house from Creepshow.
Oh,
see, now I didn't know that. Now that adds a little extra
There you go. Yeah.
Cemetery and the mall, right?
Yeah.
I like to see that mural of Tom Savini too on that side of that building. That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
There's so much in Pittsburgh. Sports wise, I hate that city, but I really want to go. But anyway, coming in at number 1, like 1A, 1B, 1C, but we only got 1A on the list. Of course, the Myers house. The hedges. I gotta see the hedges. I gotta take a picture with the hedges. And I really do want to go to the Strode house, sit there with the real pumpkin, do all do like a school picture pose, like maybe get some glamour shots on it with a filter or something. It'd be fucking awesome. Just it's Halloween. I've always wanted to see.
And you guys
know, from Halloween.
This house was supposed to be demolished a couple of years ago, and the owners got smart and moved it to the front of the street to save the house.
Wow.
I remember reading about that, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But what's kind of sad now is on Halloween night, this is like the go-to house, and the owner is so tired of people ruining the house, so she'll take her truck and ride it right up to the front of the house, so everyone's pictures are ruined. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. That's petty. That's pretty petty. Jeremy, hey man, what's going on? He just got here. Welcome. Better late than
What's
never.
up, J-Man?
Better late than never.
I'm sorry, I'm still left down there parking the truck there, ruining the pictures. You guys, that's the petty. I'm like, that's awesome.
Awesome, but I'd be like, whatever, lady. You know what the fuck you bought when you bought it. So just deal with it, okay?
Well, I was trying to talk to her. I was trying to talk to the owner so that she would let me in so that I could go up the stairs for Jeep's funeral. And no, she wasn't having it. I talked to her for about an hour and it didn't work. She was like, nope, you're not going in my house. So,
wow. All righty, Ziggy, your top 5.
Do it. Get it going right away. You ready? Now, I kind of noticed some of the selections on the other guys' list. Your two Joseph as well. And I tried to go and pick some different ones for various reasons. Movies I like, of course. I started with my favorite Friday the 13th, the final chapter, Topanga Canyon, and New Holland, California.
Have you been to this one?
That's the other house I almost got arrested in.
Oh, okay.
There's so many do not trespass signs around that house, and you don't see them until you're on this road. And to get to the house, you have to go down this steep cliff into this canyon. So you're stuck. If you're down there, you're stuck. And as you're going down this steep cliff, do not trespass, do not enter, you will get prosecuted, blah, 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 all the way down. And my friend Debbie, who I was with, she's like, I can't get in trouble with the police. I can't. So we take my pictures, and she's like, run. And I'm totally laughing because it reminds me of something in high school where someone's just afraid of getting busted. We didn't get busted or anything, but yeah, they don't, you got to make sure you got permission to go down to that place. It's a wedding banquet. They use it for wedding banquets and that kind of thing.
Nice.
I know what my wedding banquet's going to be now. Shit.
We stage a fake wedding.
Yes.
And spend a few hours down there.
It's time we came forth with our union, and yes, that's
wait. Can all three of us get married? Is that what's? Wait, what the fuck is going on? Is that what we're doing?
That's even better. I like that even better.
Dude, if it gets us in the Jarvis house, it's worth it.
It's a throuple.
Wow, man. All right, number 4. Yeah, I don't know where that went. What the hell, man? Number 4, it's a movie I've always dug, and as a heavy metal fan, you'll probably understand. Trick or Treat. It was shot all over Hanover County, North Carolina. It's just various houses and schools, and they use the actual studio to make the radio station. There's nothing really special there, but I don't care. I love the movie, and I love to see the school and stuff in the different sites. That's all. Nothing really amazing about this pick. It was just something different that neither one of these two fools had, so I went with that one. Number 3, Point Reyes Lighthouse, The Fog, Episcopal Church of the Ascension in Santa Miranda, California.
Yeah.
For God's sakes. He's already been there, though, so I was very disappointed. But
they're very nice, too. The Episcopal Church is they're very nice to visitors.
And
they love the Fog fans.
Awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. I mean, Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, you've been there, and I've seen lots of pictures of it, but that's someplace I think I would still go there and be like, I would get chills just because that movie is one of my all-time faves.
Yeah.
Number 2, I had to bring in one from, every time I can work a Fulci film into one of our lists, I'm going to do it. And this one, it's been covered up and down, left and right. Savannah, Georgia, where they shot City of the Living Dead, The Gates of Hell in America, whatever you want to call it. By far, my favorite Fulci flick. The best effects, in my opinion, and some of the scariest and the best atmospheres ever captured. Like I always like to say, a nightmare captured on film, and I would just love to go walk around that cemetery, those alleys and stuff where the bridges are. That would be worth it just to see that one place for me. Would love it. Ever been to that one, Joseph?
No, I haven't. Yeah, I'm like, this is kind of cool thing. I'm like, okay, this is going back in the file somewhere. I will see this.
And here's one little closer to you, I guess. My number 1 is a movie I dig a lot. Again, every time I can give it some love and get it on the list, I always do. Tom McLaughlin made a little movie, his first feature film called One Dark Night. Mm-hmm. And a lot of it takes place at the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in that mausoleum. Mm-hmm. I would give something to go walk around in there and see it and experience that, because I don't know why, it's not the best movie, but it just sticks with me. I love it. I love the payoff in it. Meg Tilly, you got Adam West in it making a short role in it, but just the fucking mausoleum, the thought of being locked in a mausoleum all night, even that is terrifying alone, and not to mention some kinetic serial killer coming out of the crypt and reanimating all the corpses around, coming out of the wall. Shit.
That's what we need to do. We need to set up a night where we can stay all night and just live broadcast from inside the mausoleum.
I would totally do that shit, man. That would be so
Colonel,
amazing.
We're going to the West Coast.
How about that one, Joseph? Ever been over that one?
I haven't. No, I definitely want to go to Hollywood Forever Cemetery. I mean, on top of the movie, there's so many famous.
There's more than one production have used that cemetery and that mausoleum to do different productions. I mean, Mausoleum itself, the movie, is another one that went and did in the same place.
Yep.
But yeah, man, there you go. That's my list. My place.
One thing I didn't bring up is there are what I call it's like in Scream, there are certain rules to survive a horror film.
Yes.
There's certain rules when you go out this is for anyone who is thinking about going out and looking at these places. You want to plan ahead, make sure that this place is open to visitors. Call and get permission if possible. Never go visit someplace after dark unless you want to get that buckshot that you were talking about, or if you see the do not trespass signs, take my word for it. Don't trespass. It's not worth getting arrested over. Don't leave your garbage behind. That happened at the Goonies house. The Goonies house was open to everyone, and every night the neighbors had to pick up the Burger King cups, the garbage that people left behind. So they closed it down and ruined it for everybody else. Last one is don't take something that isn't from you, that's not yours. That just ruins it for everyone. That's what ruined Amityville for everybody.
Let's be honest.
Huh?
What are you going to do with a shovel full of fucking dirt from the Amityville? You're not going to do anything with it. You're not going to throw it in your own grass. Come on, man.
You're going to put it in a jar and put it on your bookshelf and then be like,
oh, and find it 20 years later. Oh, yeah, what's this?
Oh, yeah, like the water. Yeah. But you bought that, I assume.
That one, they gave me permission, but no one wants to dug up. And let's see here. If you're going to post pictures, make sure that the homeowners want the address posted. You don't want to go and I'm really excited, you guys. I'm going tomorrow to a location I've been looking for 2.5 years. Hollywood, the directors are the homeowners, have made a deal with Hollywood to keep this place a secret. And I finally got the address to this place, so I'm going to go check it out. And then afterward, I'm going to the mausoleum. I mean, the Sane Asylum from American Horror Story season 2. I've got a straight jacket for that part too.
Oh, nice.
So,
Can you tell us what this secret one you're going to is, or no?
it's
You
going
don't
to be a
want-
big surprise because here's the cool thing: nobody has posted this. As far as I know, I'm going to be the first person to post any of the pictures from this location.
Nice.
So I'm totally stoked about this. You know,
Well, cool, man.
I can't believe it. I can't believe I finally got this, and I'll send you guys what the picture is after I'm done taking this.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely.
And then the last one is bring props. Nobody wants to see your ugly body just standing in front of a house. It's boring. And then I want to do a special shout out to my. Is it okay to talk about the sites that I'm a part of?
Yeah, man. Sure.
Okay, the 80s slasher. All these are really good groups, guys. If you guys are interested in joining and being a part of them,
These are all on Facebook?
Yeah.
Yep. 80s slasher is they're super cool. All about film locations. That's another one. Classic horror films. Friday the 13th. Everything Jason and Stephen King fan club are the ones that I'm a part of.
Well, I'm on 3 of those, you know. I mean, and that's where I ran into Joseph, was on the slashers one for sure.
Yeah, and that was a mistake. Like I said, because of my foot, I always kept this stuff personal, and I was not expecting the response I got from everybody. And I haven't received one negative response from anybody. I was really surprised. And
No, dude.
everyone's been encouraging and absolutely wonderful getting to know these people. I've already made some friends that I know I'm going to meet up with. So yeah, the sites are a lot of fun.
I knew once I started, you know, following what you were doing, and then, you know, your explanations of how things went down, I went, to me, this is a no-brainer. I mean, our fans are going to eat this up. I think this is going to be a great couple hours of fucking viewing, and it's been absolutely that, and exceeded my expectations. So I mean, well done, and don't stop, man. Please don't stop. I mean, I would say it's safe to say we could probably predict in the future a Joseph Scott Part 2 on Monday Maniacs.
That'd be cool.
Once we get a few more.
I've totally enjoyed my time with you guys. It's serious. You guys are like, you know, you're my tribe. You know, it's really been cool talking to you guys tonight.
Yeah, I mean,
I appreciate you coming in and telling us your stories, and especially your story, because, like I said, I had no idea that that's where this was going. And then when he started talking about, you know, Jamie Lee Curtis, I was like,
wait a minute.
I remember that video, and I was like, is this where we're going? Okay.
And I'll tell you, I have one more quick story, and that's when I spent the night at Camp No-be-bo-sco, and Adrienne King was out there. She and I started talking about what happened with the meeting with Jamie Lee Curtis, and because of what she went through in her personal life, where she had the stalker come after her.
Yeah.
Right.
And she and I got into this really nice conversation. And by the end of the conversation, I said, you know, listen, I don't feel like I'm talking to someone from Hollywood. I feel like I'm talking to and I stopped, and we both said survivor at the same time.
Yep.
That was, yeah.
Right there, man. You know.
Just being with somebody that understands. I think that's what people want. People want that empathy. It seems I understand what you're going through, or I don't understand what you're going through, but I'm here for you. And if that's the message we can carry to people who are going through trauma, then we've succeeded and did the best job we possibly could.
Right.
Fucking A. And that's the thing. We've just had interactions with Daniel Harris recently in the last few weeks. Scout Taylor Compton. They both had stalkers and problems with stalkers, you know, and Danielle's got another one now.
A new one.
As she came to Detroit, there was another I was sitting next to another big ass security guy, just going like, "Hey, mind if I sit here? I'm doing." I go, "Yeah, dude. No problem." You know, I mean, but yeah, it's so sick, you know. I mean, and we gotta say it again, you know, if you're that kind of person, get a fucking life, man. These are just people like you and us. They're working, man. These are jobs.
We're going to look at how dangerous this is, because you look at what happened to, what's her name, Danielle Duquesne, or what was her name?
Oh, and Poltergeist.
From Poltergeist. Mm-hmm. The stalker went and actually, is she the one that was?
No,
that was her boyfriend. That was
her boyfriend.
Yeah, it was her boyfriend. Yeah.
But I mean, there's been cases where stalkers have gone. The girl from My Sister Sam had a stalker that went and killed her.
Yeah.
Yeah. These guys need to be stopped. They're sick.
Yeah.
Let me hit a couple of comments, and then we got to
go
wrap
ahead.
this up. But
Yes.
Kiara says she's going to join those groups after this.
Nice.
Carrie wants links. If you can send Ziggy like some of the links to those groups, we'll put a post together on our Death Curse Society page that links all of them here shortly.
I've already got 3 of them. But yeah, give me those, like the Friday the 13th one and the Stephen King one. I don't have those. If you want to send me those, I'll add those to that list, and we'll post it up on our page.
Okay, definitely.
S. Michael sent his list of locations. Number 5, the Hellraiser House. Number 4, the Marsden House. There's a good pull.
Oh, that's
Number
a good one.
3, Day of the Dead Caverns.
Fuck that.
Number 2, the Mausoleum from One Dark Night. Ziggy stole his thunder.
No. You know this.
And number 1, you need a medical supply warehouse. That's
good.
great.
That's probably. I don't think that's not a set, is it? Is that a real building? That has to be a real building.
I'm sure the building is real.
Yeah, but I don't
they
know
just
if
stuck
it's really
a sign up there.
Yeah, right.
Dave says, I guess the Yeehaw Brigade that just went by. That sounded just like my Segway by Crank's house. Carrie said, so enjoyed the show. Thank you, Carrie. Thanks for tuning in a couple of weeks. Zeke says, Joseph, have you made a trip to Morningside Mausoleum in Oakland?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes, I did. Yeah. It's a beautiful, huge. It looks exactly like it does in the movie. You get up to the basement, and you're afraid that some weird little Jawa thing's going to come after you. It's a cool place.
I would go
You
to
got to get up there, too?
Yeah. Put that on the list when come to California.
That's right.
It's pretty cool.
S. Michael says, thanks for all the pointers and sharing great stories and photos. Faye says, we enjoyed having you here too, Joseph. Tina, thanks for tuning in, Tina. This must be one of your fans, I think. Joseph said, really enjoyed the show. Dave says, good job, Joseph. That was fun. Take care. Carrie says, Dominic Dunn was the actress you were trying to think of a minute ago.
And Carrie asked if we covered the Texas Chainsaw Massacre house. We did. We did the house, and we did the bridge from part 2.
You know who Dominic Dunn's brother is, right?
Yes, the author and journalist.
No.
Oh, brother. I thought you were. My bad.
I think it's no. The person I'm thinking about is Jack from American Werewolf in London.
Oh, Griffin Dunn. Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was thinking of the other Dominic Dunn, the male author. Jeremy was actually asking about Texas Chainsaw House. Yes, we mentioned that earlier, top of the show. You'll have to go back and watch that again. James says, I think the video store from Video Violence would be nice to visit if it's still around. I don't know. Anthony says, awesome interview. Thank you, sir.
There's that's my brother who's the animator for Nightmare Christmas.
Oh, nice.
Oh, okay, excellent.
I'm gonna do a little shout out to him right there. My brother's main scene that everyone remembers of him is after Jack is done putting out the bad Christmas presents and he's shot down into the cemetery. He was given the entire sequence of poor Jack where he's in the angel's arms and his Santa Claus suit is all tattered up. He was the only animator that got the entire song. And it took him 6.5 months to do 3.5 minutes of film. And he studied movements from Fred Astaire, like where he does that balancing thing over the park bench.
Mm-hmm.
He was copying moves from Fred Astaire. So yeah, I'm pretty proud of him, brother. He's done
That's cool shit.
That is cool.
He's done a remarkable job, you guys.
Thanks for tuning in, Anthony. Definitely.
Anthony, we're going to need Jamie Lee Curtis's contact information sent right over, please. So you're in Hollywood, you got it, probably right next door or something. So yeah, as soon as you get a chance, get on that, and we'll take care of it.
Actually,
Anthony, hold on one second. Just Anthony, real quick, just so you know, I appreciate your work on Nightmare on Elm Street Nightmare on Elm Street, Nightmare Before Christmas. Sorry. No, just because literally I've watched that movie probably like 6 times in the past 2 weeks, not by choice. My youngest loves it, so she is a huge fan of your work, and so am I, because it's fucking wonderful. Thank you. Good job.
Okay, well, since we're all saying something to Anthony, I'll mention something too. Will you talk to Tim Burton about his casting choices for this new Addams Family spinoff that he's wanting to do? Whoo, that's questionable. Bro.
Let him see what he's got here before we start criticizing. I bet it's going to be just fine. But he also says on the JLC thing, I'll work on that.
All right, one last comment. Kiara says, this show was literally amazing tonight. I think so too. Thank you to everybody for watching and tuning in and asking questions. And Joseph, thank you for jumping in, man. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it. All right.
Yeah.
You know, and
again, you guys make your way out here to California. Let me know. I have no problem showing you guys around where different homes and locations are.
My brain has been percolating the whole time we've been sitting here, like on things bits and shit we can put together. So I think something's starting here. I don't know. We'll see. It's hard to get around, but I mean, hey, as we grow, we're kind of getting out further. We're starting to breach those lines and everything. So nothing is out of the realm of possibility, my brother. So
I'll do one last shout out to the 80s slasher group. You guys have been amazing to me. I invited a couple of people over, but everyone from that group has been absolutely amazing. I love everyone's input. I even love it when people disagree with me because I learn more from their comments. You guys have been phenomenal. So I just wanted to definitely say hello to them and all about filming locations. Same thing. These guys are amazing. They try to copy exactly the same positions that people are standing, so they match the film with what the pictures that they're taking.
Oh, yeah. They kind of put the angle right on there over the thing. Like, I did see a couple of those.
Yeah, they're absolutely great site. The people who run that site are phenomenal. The people who are part of that site are phenomenal. So, anyways, those are my last two shout outs.
I agree. I mean,
very nice.
And if not for those sites, I probably would have never come across Joseph and his work. So, I mean, it's a community.
Let me, let's just, Joseph, I'm going to cover you up for just a second accidentally, but it's for a purpose. Special thanks one last time to our final girls, Corey, Chris, Lorena, Christy, Luke, and Tyrone, our Crazy Ralphs, Angelo and Peter, and our camp counselors, S. Michael, Dave, and Kiara. Happy birthday coming up, Kiara. And next week we have Daniel from the Colorado Festival of Horrors joining us. Is that correct?
That's correct.
All right. I don't know what topic we're going to be covering, but normally we end up talking more about them anyway. Kind of like tonight. We squeeze in 15 minutes of top 5 lists and then 2 hours of the rest?
We're going to be learning about, they have a brand new horror convention coming up in Colorado. It's their first time having an actual live event like this. And, it's interesting to hear how they get this shit together and lined up, and their guests and their vendors and everything. So we'll get into that. And then he's a big horror fan too, and he's got stories. Like, we went on his show last week and got to know all what the Death Curse is about, and now we're going to give him a shot to tell us what's going on in Colorado in the Colorado Festival of Horror. Should be a good time.
We're also partly sponsoring at least one of the events in there. So,
well, I think they put us on as main sponsors. We're in the print anyway, is what he said. So,
all right, cool.
Exactly where, but yeah, we're happy to be involved and happy to have them on too next week. It'll be fun.
Colonel, what's your sign off for the night?
Oh, I got to do the classic, I guess. All the variants. So don't get sick. Wash your dick. And don't smell like a Scuba Steve. Use Summer's Eve. See, I make fun of both. I'm an equal opportunity joker. Sorry.
Offender.
Or offender. If you're offended by those lame ass jokes, there's something. I'm way worse on CNN.
Yeah. All right. Ziggy, take us home.
Take us home. Yeah. Well, wow. DCS fans, and thanks a lot for joining us again. Another amazing night. Joseph, damn, man. Like I said, it couldn't have gone any better tonight, I don't think. What a good time. We've gone 34 minutes over what we said we were going to do, and I love when that happens because that means there was just so much to say.
Don't we always?
Not always, but I mean, I love it when we can like this because it means
I do too.
Good stuff, good content. But I absolutely see in the future Joseph Scott Part 2, more locations, more stops, more stories. And then hopefully we'll have Jamie Lee Curtis in with us that time too.
There you go.
Right.
Okay.
So, all right, man. That's going to do it. Monday Maniacs going off the air. We'll see you next week. And thanks for joining us. Stay scared, as George Romero said. We will see you next week. For the Colonel, for Red Crank, and for Joseph Scott, I'm Zigzag. This is the Death Curse Society, and DCS is out. Woo! To the screen. Here it is.
You're
Good night,
screwing
folks.
up.